Greetings, fellow Emberians. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is May 21st, YC128, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, 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 guys. By the way, we are here currently in Valor, although we will be moving soon. We have so much to cover today, guys. We have so much to cover. Okay. Can I keep it all in some sort of constrainment? I don't know. We'll see. So basically, I was worried that today I wouldn't necessarily have much to talk about, right? I originally thought that today was going to be the last day, or the beginning of the last week of the event track. So it's like, oh yeah, we can just cover some stuff like that. But then I found out, or I realized that that's actually next Tuesday. So we did the lore from, the lore update about Sylphie breaking out on Tuesday a couple days ago. And we covered all the stuff about FanFest and all that stuff in a couple of streams over the weekend. And I was like, man, am I going to really have something to talk about? And let me tell you, I did. I do have something to talk about, which is we've been talking about this whole conspiracy theory for the last several weeks, you know, this idea of Ishikone versus Lydai. And I feel like there's a much more simpler way of looking at this, which is the answer is in a singular person, Men's-Repala. Unfortunately, I was not ready to talk about that yet today, and fortunately, I guess, for me, but unfortunately for you, or whatever, today has so much to talk about. So what they've done is they have turned on Singularity. Now, the last time they tried to turn on Singularity, it didn't go so well. They were going to have it be on for an extended period of time, and then after 3 hours, they took it down, and we haven't seen Singularity again. Now, for those of you who do not know, what is Singularity? Singularity is the test server. As we all know, we all live and play on Tranquility, which is the live server. And then there's a copy of that known as Singularity, which is supposed to be a test server. It used to be up all the time, but around the invasion time period, a little bit after that, they decided that they didn't want Singularity up all the time anymore, only for limited play tests. And usually those are like a couple of hours or whatever, and then they have it up for like a day or two, and then they take it back down. A few months ago, I don't even remember the full timeline. Time doesn't mean anything right now. They said that they were going to do an extended play test of Singularity because they were testing out some network stuff or whatever. And like I said, it came up after 3 hours, they had to take it back down. We haven't seen Singularity since. So now we have a new mass test, but it's not just a mass test. It's not just an opportunity to be on Singularity. It's not just an opportunity to finally try out a carrier or whatever without having to worry about the losses. It also means that we get to see basically everything that is coming, almost everything, a lot of what's coming in the expansion. So here we are in Sissy. The details are we should have it until Monday. So from today all the way through the weekend until the 25th of May at 5 a.m. GMT, this test servers will be up. So you can come out and try it out. And the reason why this is also going to be one of those, unlike normal play tests, there's no like test that's there's no like a big mass test that's happening with fleets and stuff, because this is a test of everything that's coming in the expansion, which means we get to see almost basically everything that's coming in the expansion. So we've got military campaigns, we've got all the new plexes, we've got all the new sites, and there's way, way more. So we have all of this details. We have Hobo Leaks, which has all of the updates and stuff for it. We have over 480 new entries and almost 3,000 strings. Oh, there's no achievements yet. Didn't he said that there, oh, is that the, okay. I was wondering about that. Thank you for the clarification. Almost everything. There's still a couple more things, but all the functional stuff, all the meaty stuff that helps us understand what's going on, that is what we have today. Now, full disclosure, all of this is the test server, and so this is stand-in values. Now, historically, they don't change things much from Sissy. They don't like just throw things up willy-nilly. There's sometimes mistakes that get corrected. That's part of the reason for all of this, and we'll talk about that when we get into some of the details. But just realize that like there's still time to change things, and who knows what might have slipped through or not slipped through. but it does look like basically everything that we see here is effectively, I would say, a release candidate, right? Like you could see all of this be, it doesn't look like it's stand-in. I guess that's my point, with a few exceptions, especially when it comes to the carriers. But we will look at that when we look into, yeah, already. Well, that's my point, Malak, is that I'm concerned because there is a lot of changes from what was shown on at FanFest when it comes to the carriers specifically. But at this point, I'm not sure which one is correct. I mean, probably what we have now is an updated version, but there are some pieces to it that is almost kind of strange. Okay. We'll jump into that when we get to it. So there is a post on Reddit, which is pretty good. Am I peaking right now? Is my audio good? There's a Reddit post that has a bunch of breakdowns. There's actually a couple of Reddit posts. There's also a lot of stuff on Singularity that isn't. People are still catching new things. For instance, there is a new connection between Cheetah and Amar. So there's so much to cover today. I have very little prepared. I mean, I've tried to align stuff so that we can look at stuff, but I'm sure that there's some people here that's going to know stuff that I don't know yet, because there's still, like, people are figuring stuff out. People are talking about stuff. So if you know something that I don't know, please post about it in the chat. Yeah, there's new routes and new connections. Okay, so as well as all the stuff from all the military campaigns, etc., etc. So let's cover first this Reddit post and what it says, because it's kind of a lot of rebalancing stuff, and I have things to say about it. Yeah, some context to give. So first of all, there's a lot of buffs here. There's a lot of buffs, a lot of things that are really, really good and really, really interesting. So first of all, the Merlin gets a little bit of speed buff. That's fine. The Maelstrom, which is already a very good ship, is gaining quite a bit of stuff. They're gaining a little bit faster, about 5% faster. The base inertia is also being brought down. So not only is it going to have a little bit more speed, but it will change its speed. It'll get up to speed and it'll align a little bit faster too. Its drone bay has been increased, so now it can field a full flight of 5 heavies or sentries, and its signature radius has been reduced, which means it's going to take even less damage. Now, the Maelstrom is a very, very well-liked, especially fleet ship. It is, a lot of the Minmatar battleships are really good for fleet combat, etc., etc. This just makes it compete even more. I think that part of this has to do with the dominance of the Machariel, which there is one buff to the Machariel that's coming in a little bit. But the Maelstrom is a sweet ship, and this makes it a little bit sweeter. Now, there are several adjustments to Navy ships, right? The pre-existing Navy destroyers, frigates, or E-War frigates, and cruisers. So for the Griffin, they had their penalty to drone damage reduced and their base velocity increased. This can be really good. So the Griffin Navy issue is a very interesting ship in the fact that it relies on its E-War drones, right? It basically, the way that the Griffin Navy issue works, prior to the jamming changes, when the Griffin Navy issue first was created, jams would block you from locking anybody. But then years ago, they changed it so that you can always lock back the person who's jamming you, which makes the Griffin Navy issue a little bit of a step back. The Navy issue frigates were designed to examine what happens when you have a closer range E-War platform, right? A lot of E-War projects very far away and uses that as an opportunity in order to, keep itself protected while it messes with things in the field. But the E-War frigates specifically, across the board, have kind of a more brawly, not quite brawly, a lot of them are scramkiters or whatever, but a much more close-in range conflict style for an E-War frigate. And so the idea was that the Griffin had to be really close, but could keep them jammed out. And with the changes to jams, that didn't work anymore. So instead, they gave that jam bonus to the Griffin's drones. So then the Griffin gets a bunch of drones, and those drones get an extra bonus to their jamming, with the idea that those are the things that the Griffin uses to keep itself protected, and then uses its own weapon system, its missiles, as a way of doing damage. So that's why there is this huge drone penalty damage on the Griffin Navy issue. This seems to like to give a little bit of a leniency to that. It's now, you now get 30% of the total damage instead of 15%. So it's basically twice as much damage from your drones if you choose to have some of your drones be damage drones instead of missile or like E-war drones. Sure, it makes it a little bit more flexible. It does make it so that the Griffin Navy issue can rely a little bit more on its drones to clear the rats while it's waiting. Is it? Hold on. Or hybrid. Yeah. That's fair. Cartel ships are getting really, a big bonus. We'll get to that. So that's what's going on here. The Griffin Navy issue is going to be a little bit faster and able to use its drones for damage mode more. Just real quick, I want to check if we go into game. Oh my gosh. Do I not know how to spell Griffin? I probably don't. So the Griffin Navy issue has 35 drone bay. So yeah, they can carry their full flight of 5 ECM drones, and then carry 2 damage drones that they could theoretically pop out to help them in like the plexes when fighting rats and stuff, which is pretty good. It is 30% of 5 drones is 1/5, but I mean I would assume that they would still want to bring the full flight of ECM drones just in case, and then this just allows their 2 drones to just help out a little bit more when it comes to breaking rats. I didn't actually. Why didn't this? I'm sorry. I meant to show this. I clicked it. It just didn't change it. I apologize, but yeah. So there's that. Now then, the Maulus Navy issue gets quite a bit. So they get additional two extra power grid and 5 extra CPU, but that is, in my opinion, mostly to get help out with its extra hard point. So now the Maulus Navy issue will be able to have 3 hard points, and again, it's a little bit faster. So for the Maulus Navy issue, we can see its bonuses give damage to drones as well as their scram optimal range. So the idea behind the Maulus Navy issue is that it can scram kite, right? Like it allows it to sit outside of your scram range and be able to scram you, much like the Mortis Legion ships, right? So it can damp out a person, although that can be not as important. It's mostly just about keeping them at range so you can micro warp drive, but the opponent cannot, while using your drones for damage. So the additional extra hybrid is fine. Rails are good. It is true that, like, in order to get the value out of that extra scram range, like a lot of this kind of ship, especially these drone ships, rely on newts instead of turrets. But of course, your newt range is fairly short and limited, and that additional scram range means that you are scram kiting closer to like 12, 15 plus kilometers instead of the 8, 9 for your newts. So getting that extra hybrid probably is going to make it more capable. The change makes hybrid ECM drones very useful. Why would it? Wait, which one? Oh, for the Griffins. You're right. For the Griffin Navy issue, it does make the ECM damage drone hybrid a lot better too. Twice as good, even. At least in that regard. Okay, so then The Cormorant Navy issue gains basically 50% additional boost to its hybrid turret damage, which is pretty crazy. I didn't think of the Cormorant Navy issue as kind of being the weakest one. I didn't think it needed that big of a boost, but apparently it does, or it did, because oh, sorry, I'm not showing it. I don't know about very useful. I mean, could be useful, especially if you're going to be killing the rats, like I said, which is an important component to faction warfare. I play as an alpha clone, so I can't test this, but maybe you could do damage E-War drones. Yeah, you can, while on Sissy, you should be able to buy the Plex that's seeded on the market to make your account go Omega. Anywho, all right, so, well, you would get more value out of them and the Tristan, except for the Griffin would actually be able to, like, use them to jam people out. The thing is that you don't really want to use very expensive drones on your Griffin Navy issue, because they're going to be the ones that get killed a lot, so that's not great. But either way, so the Cormorant Navy issue gets a straight damage bonus. I'm sure that we could look at the stats between the different Navy destroyers. They're all kind of similar. So probably maybe it needed it. Who knows? The Augurer Navy issue. Now, the Augurer Navy issue has always been known as a brick. So one of the things that's weird is that Navy issue cruisers that are of the Logi variety aren't Logi ships. They usually focus on being incredibly bricky tanks and real good projection downward. That's in general what the Logi Navy cruisers focus on. So here we see that the Augurer Navy issue is actually increasing mass, but is increasing its velocity and reducing its base inertia. So even though it's going to have more mass, it's still going to go faster and will probably get up to speed a little bit faster or about the same time. We'll see when they give their actual analysis from CCP. And its cap recharge time has been reduced and its capacitor capacity has been increased, which gives both of those aspects give the Augurer Navy issue an increased cap restoration rate, recharge rate, which is really important for something like an Augurer Navy issue that uses lasers. So very big boost to the Augurer Navy issue, which is already a very good faction cruiser. And then there's the Stabber Fleet issue, which I'm a big fan of the Stabber Fleet issue, and it just gets additional CPU, which is pretty cool. And then the Armageddon Navy issue gains the Amar battleship bonus of the NOS and Newt fall off range per level. Basically, CCP has been having trouble finding a niche / balance for these three ships that are very similar to each other: the Armageddon Navy issue, and the Balgorn. And this relationship between strength and range is kind of where they get to with this. And so they tried to make it so that the Armageddon Navy issue had a little bit of a trade-off in the fact that in order to get, I think it was its extra damage that it gets, it kind of loses its ability to project long Newt ranges. But Newts are very short range in general when it comes to relative to other things. And so in the end, a Newt range bonus ends up being a huge piece of the consideration between different hulls. And so clearly they are deciding that the Armageddon Navy issue needs to be more competitive against the Armageddon as a choice. And it kind of goes back to, like, there's other examples of this, like the Dominic's Navy issue used to not be as good of a Dominic's as the Dominic's was by the fact that, like, it had lesser drone bonuses for the hybrid bonuses. But that ended up just kind of not being popular. And so the Dominic's Navy issue got, like, super buffed in order to make sure that it is just a better upgrade over the Dominic's, I'm pretty sure. So there's that. Just checking on the chat. Okay, so now Angels get a buff across the board. So each pirate faction gets a cheat of some kind. In the case of the Angels, its cheat is a warp speed bonus, right? So each tier of Angel ship, rule of thumb, I used to say that each kind of warps one tier faster. So like a battleship is closer to like a cruiser The cruiser's closer to like a frigate, and the frigate is closer to like an interceptor. So that bonus is actually getting increased. So now its warp speed bonuses are going from 25% to 50%. So now it's warping even faster, both how fast it accelerates into warp and how fast it is while in warp. Now, this does not affect how it gets into warp. Its agility and its alignment times do not change. This only controls what happens to it once it is already in warp. Yes, this does mean that our new Kizriel shuttle... Actually, no. Wait, hold on. No! Wait, is that true? Did Kizriel be the only one that didn't get it? Not Kizriel. Yeah, Kizriel. Wait, Kizriel? Yeah. Attributes per type. Hold on. Not Kizriel. Mecha Ball. Hold on. No. Wait, yes. I'm sorry. Our Mecha Ball. I'm so dumb. Our Mecha Ball did get changed, but the Kizriel didn't? Weird. Okay, so the Mecha Ball, which is the destroyer, the shuttle that we use now, that did get the bonus that we're talking about. But the Kizriel didn't. So that's one of the two changes. But the other thing is that now the Angels get a second cheat, which, to be fair, isn't that unfair, because the warp speed bonus has kind of always been the weakest of the cheats. I mean, compare that to the fact that Blood Raiders are the only ships that get to use Gnosis in the old way, and Guristas get to have 2 drones instead of 5, but have them count as 6, including their the tank of 6. You know, these are very, very, very powerful bonuses. Warping a little bit faster doesn't necessarily feel as meaty. So they now have a new bonus, which is a 75% reduction in the reload time of projectiles. Yeah, the Machariel did not get the warp speed bonus. True. So it's everything cruiser down got the warp speed bonus, but all of them, I believe, got the reduction in projectile weapon reload time. This is critical for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, well, like, the thing to note is that projectiles have some of the longest reloads in the game, right? And the reason why is because ammo selection for hybrids or for projectiles is supposed to be a commitment. Projectile ammo is the most versatile of all of the ammo types. It is not damage locked. It has different range bonuses that it can apply. It has different tracking bonuses that it can apply. There are different projectile ammos for all different kinds of situations, which means being able to swap your ammo. The idea is that a projectile ammo user should commit to the battlefield. If you notice that you suddenly need EMP ammo when you had fusion loaded, you have to make this choice of whether or not it's worth, I think it's 10 seconds or more of the reload in order to change your damage type. I'm going to do nothing for the next chunk of time in order to load this other type of ammo and then keep firing. And so that has to be worth it to you within the fight. By reducing the reload time by 75%, that significantly cuts that cost of commitment. And so now Angel ships not only are stupid fast, warp stupid fast, but now they can also swap out their damage types, swap out their turret, what ammo they're using faster than any other Minmatar ship. And this can be a huge difference in fleet fights, in solo fights, etc. The ability to, on the fly, be like, nope, we're switching to EMP ammo. Nope, we're switching to fusion ammo. That is a big piece to this. So again, neither of these buffs directly increase the Angel Cartel's combat capabilities directly. This isn't a DPS buff. But both of these add to the Angel Cartel's flexibility and agility. It makes them faster, both from getting between sites and getting to locations, as well as being able to make changes to their configuration, i.e. loading up different ammo when it's time to. Projectile ammo also does deal the multiple damage types at the same time. Yes, but most projectile ammo, I think all turret ammo does more than one damage type. By the way, guys, if you are interested, hold on. We can go real quick. If you go to our Notion, and I can post a link to this, there is an infographics page, since we're talking about this already. We have all of the infographics. We post it here. This should be right. Maybe. We have all these different infographics, including, so here's all the different damage type. Here's all the different projectile ammos. And you can see that there's different damage types. There's different tracking amounts. There's different range versus damage. It's very versatile. Whereas, you know, with the hybrid, they're all the same damage and kind of along the main axis for the most part. Same with energy, you know, etc. So big deal, big deal. Here we go. And then on top of that, then next, there's also a nerf to the medium Scarab Breacher pod. So the Cenotaph is getting a nerf by about a quarter, right? Because it goes from 8% to 6%. So 25% reduction in its damage for the Breacher pods. Probably pretty good. The Deimos is getting a velocity bonus of 20 meters per second, which is almost 10%, which is very, very good because the Deimos is, you know, obviously Gallente blaster supremacy. The Deimos relies on its speed more than some, so that makes sense. And all of the command ships, I think, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, all of the command ships are getting their cargo extended by quite a bit. From 400 to 640 for the EOS, 400 to 740 for the Astarte, 700 to 940 for the Nighthawk, so on and so forth. So this means that somebody pointed out real quickly that the Sleipnir, the double ASB Sleipnir, now gets a buff because it can carry almost twice as many shield cap charges. There's more room for command burst charges, although command bursts don't take that much space. There's obviously more room for loot, etc., and ammo, you know, whatever you need to do. But all the command ships are getting additional cargo space, as well as the Claymore is just getting a straight up buff, very similar to the Cormorant Navy issue buff. It's going from a 5% bonus to a 7.5% bonus. So effectively a 50% bonus to the bonus, right? So it used to be 25%. Now it'd be like, what is it, 42.5%, I think, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. My math might not, whatever. And then the Fenrir get a 1.2% base velocity bonus. I don't look, the only thing that gets me about this, and I kind of want to check, does this change the breakpoint for warping for the Fenrir? Because the fact that it has a slightly faster, I actually think that this is a nerf. I think that this is a nerf. Because if you think about it, you have to get to 70% of your max speed. This is not a buff to agility. This is a buff to base velocity, which means the speed that you have to get up to is now slightly faster than it had to be before. So if anything, this could make getting into warp take 1 to 2 seconds longer, just depending on how the breakpoints come out. So if anything, this feels like it would be a nerf to the Fenrir, not a buff. But somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's my initial instinct, is that this should make it take longer to get into warp. If anything, it should be a nerf. It's not like it has very much to be able to increase that speed or to manipulate that base speed very much. Only thing that you could think of for that change as well. Yeah. That's what immediately jumped out to me. All right, so then command carriers. So these are the changes from FanFest. We looked at all the different carriers at FanFest, the new ones. So what's being posted here is the changes from there. And so this is the thing that makes me wonder what exactly is going on here. So at FanFest, there were three bursts, one at 5%, one at 3%, and one at 1%. And the 3% one, so the 5% one was that race's primary tank burst. The 3% was that race's primary or like secondary burst, so like information or skirmish, depending. And then the third burst was different for different carriers. Sometimes, like for the Mimitar, it was the off tank burst. For the other ones, I'm pretty sure across the board, it was the off command, like either into information or skirmish bursts. And there were a lot of people that were very not satisfied with that, especially since, as we showed off, there are command ships that have 4% to both. So the they said that these are the strongest command bursts, but for the tank, it was true. But for the information and skirmish bursts, it wasn't true. 3% bonus is not as big as 4. Well, it seems that they have right now gotten rid of the tertiary command burst and instead raised the secondary command burst from 3% to 5%. So now it's going to be just the same as the down and up when it comes to command ships. Your tank and your Empire's either information or skirmish, both at 5%. Now, I speculated that one of the reasons why they might want to keep it at 3% instead of 5% was that, like, you keep pushing info and skirmish bursts further, more and more powerful. That's going to lead to further and further scrams and further webs. So, maybe they were nervous about giving quite that much burst power to information and skirmish links. This would imply that they're kind of going to be more okay with it. However, with a lot of these other changes, especially the slot changes and stuff, I'm not and the fact that the base range was reduced to T1 level, I wonder how many of these stats are true because they copied and pasted the base carriers, and then some of the stats didn't get modified correctly. These stats are the ones that are questionable enough, and again are different from what they showed at FanFest, that I hesitate to say that these are final. Some of these details could be a mistake. Some of these details, like for instance, the jump range, right? I would not necessarily interpret this yet to say that they do want to have the jump range be shorter, because at some point they did want the jump range to be longer and they put it on the thing. So we're just going to have to see. But it does seem that they get a 5% reduction in capital jump drive and jump field generator spool up per level per command skill bonus. That's 25%. This is cool. This is actually, I suggested that or recommended or mentioned that during that stream. That it's like they say that these are these agile, versatile ships, but like giving them extra jump drive capabilities would be a good way to do it. It could be that they decided that they didn't want the jump range and instead changed it to the capital jump drive or the micro jump drive as a way of like compensating, maybe. Again, I caution us to feel like any of these stats are set in stone, and however you feel about it, if you've got opinions on the command carriers, give that feedback, because they're clearly capable of adjusting it between now and when it's go time. Hope now that we have command carriers, they replace the command burst bonus on fax with something that gives more healing. Maybe. I've always said that these should be, instead of command carriers, they should be command faxes, but okay. So you're right. It still does have a bigger conduit jump capacity, right? The command carriers will be able to bring more ships with them, do a bigger hot drop than the current carriers can. That is true. Okay, so then there were a couple of other changes specifically to micro warp drives. Did not see this coming, but as I looked at it, it makes sense. A lot of people will look at this and just say, oh, it's a micro warp drive buff. And you might wonder to yourself, did micro warp drives really need a buff? But what I think that they're doing here is correcting a long-standing piece of like broken design within the game. Now, you could argue, and I have argued, that these are the kind of things that make things interesting. Some of my old videos will now be out of date because of this change. But there's these weird quirks in the way that mechanics come together at some points that lead to some counterintuitive situations. And one of the best examples of this has been micro warp drives, which is that people would say that enduring micro warp drives, and sometimes people would even say Tech 2 micro warp drives, are useless. And they had a fairly decent argument, at least with enduring. The problem is that for those of you who do not know, all of the meta modules that, well, not all, most of the meta modules have these different words that mean something about them. Compact means it takes less fitting. Enduring means it takes less capacitor. And restrained means that its penalties are reduced. And the problem with this is that the penalty that a micro warp drive gives is cutting into the base capacitor capacity of the ship. So a micro warp drive eats into your capacitor twice. Both when it cycles, it takes more a capacitor than the afterburner does, but then also just having a micro warp drive fit to your ship and online reduces your capacitor's capacity, which also reduces your capacitor's recharge rate, right? And so the thing about that is that given how all these things relate to each other, most of the time, a restrained micro warp drive was better for your capacitor than an enduring micro warp drive, because the enduring micro warp drive would consume less capacitor per cycle, but the restrained micro warp drive would both take a bunch of capacitor just by being online, but then also reduce your capacitor recharge rate. So it just says enduring is better if you can keep it active indefinitely. Now, most of the time you recommend that you burst your micro warp drive when you need to in order to move around. That's partially for this case, but like even if you just run it all the time, there are instances, just depending on what else is going on with the fit or the ship, where it literally a restrained micro warp drive will just last longer than an enduring one. And so what they've done here is that they've changed the bonuses a little bit to make it so that now an enduring micro warp drive truly does take less. It is easier on the capacitor across the board than a restrained. So if you want it for just the amount of capacitor consumption, then an enduring would be good. And if you are going to keep your micro warp drive off more often, then it would still be good to have a restrained, right? If you're going to most of the time have your micro warp drive off, but sometimes turn it on for the sake of moving around, then restrained can be good because that penalty is on all the time, whether or not you're using it. But if you're going to use the micro warp drive all the time or most of the time, then an enduring will be better. And that wasn't necessarily true before, but this will make it true. And then in order to make that make sense, they also have to slightly buff the Tech 2 version. So they bring down its activation cost as well to kind of make sure that everything kind of staggers correctly. And then also give it an increased signature radius bloom, like not an increase, but like a reduction in that penalty as well. So now it is better. You should upgrade to a Tech 2 if you can run it. Whereas before, there were good reasons to use a restrained micro warp drive or a compact micro warp drive, even if you could fit a Tech 2 or an enduring. So this is just one of those really weird niche interactions between different pieces of the modules that is being corrected. So cool. Also, Tech 2 fighters now require specialization skills, which also means that they're going to get the benefit of those specialization skills. Right now, the specialization skills don't affect you or your ship in Tranquility because there are no ships or there are no fighters that require it, which is a piece to how that skill works. So right now that skill exists only to train. With the expansion, the other half of this is going to play in. You're no longer going to be able to use Tech 2 fighters without specialization skills, but now that specialization skill will increase the damage of your fighters. And then on top of that, we also have a rebalance to some of the webification drones. Fenris Creations will not give up on web drones. It is the one, well, technically the two, EWAR drones have always had a hard time of it. Now, ECM drones gets a little bit of a life because of the Griffin Navy issue, which we mentioned earlier. But web drones have always been kind of the example redheaded stepchild, terrible drones. And Fenris has been on this campaign to make web drones relevant somehow. And what they've decided is that Gallente Navy ships with drone bonuses need to have a bonus for the Minmatar E-War drone, which, you know what? We're just fine. That's what we're doing. But the problem is that you give them big bonuses on the EOS and now the Algos Navy issue, not EOS, but Myrmidon and now the Algos Navy issue. But like these drones still aren't good. And a lot of the reasons why they're not good is because you want to web things that are going fast, right? That's the point of webbing. So if your web drones can't catch the target, then they can't web the target. If the target is already going fast, your web drones can't do anything to help you. And so to that end, they are trying to increase the speed of the web drones across the board to make it so that they have a little bit of a chance to actually catch these fast things that you want to web in the first place. Now, they still have a relatively low strength in their webbing, but again, the Algos and the Myrmidon Navy issues will help compensate that with big bonuses in that regard. But as a cost to this, because they are now good, because they're fast enough to catch things in theory, to compensate for that, they're now a higher target. So you increase their signature rate. Sorry, that you well, they reduce the signature radius of the warrior, but they increase the signature radius of the Valkyrie. And they did increase the shields of the Valkyrie, but the biggest one is this big increase in the signature radius of the Valkyrie, which makes it, so now it's going to be going fast enough to catch some of the faster stuff. It's going to be significantly easier to kill those drones, potentially, especially with kitey stuff, which like to rely on missiles. So that signature radius just means that those missiles on those kitey ships are going to be more effective. So your Garmers and Orthruses will be able to defang those Myrmidon Navy issues rather than being just caught by them, I guess, or Algos Navy issues, I should say. So yeah, this is what this thing shows, and we can see that there's more on Hobo leaks and whatnot. But let's go ahead and jump into the game itself and see what we can see. Hold on. All right, so we are in the game now. We are, once again, on Singularity. Now, I don't have any special access to Singularity. I don't have any special access to anything. I'm not a partner or anything like that. I don't get any support from CCP. I have the same access that you guys do. Just as a reminder, I am here because you guys let me be here. Thank you so much to all of my supporters, members, patrons, and people that pick up merch, and even the people that just, you know, hang out with me on Discord and keep my mental health up. You know, you're the reason why I'm here, not because of Fenris or anybody else. That's I serve you guys directly. So here we are on Singularity. You could get on Singularity right now too and check this out as well. This is going on until Monday, as it says on the post. But the first thing I want to show is the Theater of War page. And the station's web flat out do not have the range unless you're flying certain Blood Raider ship. What? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so unable to fetch data. No opportunities found. What have I done? All right, here we go. So this is the Theater of War page now. This is part of the Faction Warfare. This basically replaces the Faction Warfare map, or like page. In fact, you can go here to the Faction Warfare tab and it will show the Faction Warfare systems. We are on Sissy, so everything's going to load real slow and annoying like. And then you can also see the, of course, the Caldari Gallente one. This is all the normal stuff that existed, but now there's these different pages. You can now enlist with, you can switch between all these things now. You can, the Insurgency and the Faction Warfare map is now in the same UI, as well as the enlisting. and the military campaigns. And then there's the overview here, which tells us about the insurgencies, where it's currently at, my progress, the current exciting place in the war zone, and the different objectives for the military campaign. I guess kiting scepters can't run those sites. They should be able to. Just because they are destroyers doesn't mean that they are strong. Also, destroyers are easier to kill than frigates. So here we have the military campaigns. Do we actually have... Wait. Do I not have the military campaigns now? Hold on. Here we go. Okay, great. So now we can see all 4 military campaigns that are coming. Season 1 of the... of military campaigns, which will be... See, they even say Season 1. So this is like the new seasonal feature of EVE. So, but remember, military campaigns will likely last for an entire 6 months, because they're not supposed to have an impact until the next expansion, although different pieces of it will roll out at different times. This is just a one for testing, which is why it's 3 days left, because that's when Sissy goes down. Last I played, kiting scepters could do about 80 DPS, which was not enough to break a small Plex rat. Well, we'll have to see. It's also a lot easier to break Plex rats now, given the fact that both sides have rats on the field. So as long as, if you're attacking the same one that your friendly NPCs are attacking, you're able to break a tank a lot easier than you were before. But either way, so these are the real military campaigns that are coming starting on the 9th. And we get a lot more information about what their objectives are and what they're trying to do. So we can see the Caldari have the state corridor, secure strategic control over the Syndicate region to both enable the construction of a direct connection, Stargate connection to the Caldari war zone, and crush the treacherous Intaki Syndicate. And so right now we see that there are I guess there's 3 active tasks. No, actually there's 8. Sorry, these are recommended objectives. So there's 8 of the objectives. Oh my gosh. 8 of the objectives are currently active. And then there are 14 that are listed as upcoming. So this capture, defend faction warfare complexes won't start for another 4 hours. This complete agent missions won't start for another 7 hours, etc., etc. So you will be able to see all of the different tasks, or at least, tasks as they are ramping up. Again, this is all very compressed timeline for the purposes of the test, but not every task is going to be active at all times. 250 DPS on a claw is good. All right. So we can see, and then we have 12 contributors. I don't know if we can see that per se, but here we go. So from Executive General Heike Torigo, Guards Executive Operations Division, Kimatoro. Oh my God, so many words. Caldari Navy. Nothing will stand in the way of the Caldari state when it goes to war. The Chief Executive Panel has mandated that all who are loyal to the Caldari must aid in cutting a path through Syndicate so that resources can be delivered directly to the war zone. Total control over the Syndicate region is the only way to guarantee a reliable path for state forces. The claws of the criminal Intaki Syndicate are still burned into the region they once claimed. Their dishonor can only be met with discipline. The time has come for us to bring the last of these treacherous syndicates to heel. To all who hear this, it is your duty to do whatever is needed to complete this great endeavor. Harvest, build, explore, and destroy those who stand against us. You shall not accept failure, and neither shall the state. So if they're successful, there will be a new Stargate from Inakamon to TWLIWS, which is in the DS TAC constellation. This one here, not the one that's directly connected to the war zone. That would be this one, MHC TAC. But it would get them pretty close. Where's Poidot? Yeah, we get them 4 jumps to Poidot. And then it would go to all the way over here. So from here in BlackRise, which this is another connection. Okay, so this is a connection in the war zone. So this would just be, so this would allow people to move within the war zone because, and between, wait, this would allow a much cleaner connection between Cloud Ring and Syndicate. Because look, because you can go from here, WTAC 4 and UU, jump into Oikainen, one jump to Lenakamon, and then one more jump into Syndicate. So that could be a pretty crazy connection for nullsecers. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, obviously there are other ways, you know, they can get from here to here, but now they can also go around the other way to show up here. That could be something. It already connects, but it's like now they can connect to both sides. Sylphie and Diabel is currently still on the run, correct. So, and then the Intaki Syndicate is dissolved, and its member corporations are absorbed into the Caldari state. That's pretty crazy. You know, we've said it before, like that will be the very first time that a faction of the game is completely eradicated, and its member corps include the Intaki Bank, which, remember, the Intaki Bank is now a member of Upwell. So what? That could be spooky. And then all of the Intaki Syndicate LP offers now become available in the State Protectorate Loyalty Point store. So if we go back into the browser and we go to the Loyalty Point store, here we see all of the things within the Intaki Syndicate LP store, and we can see that they have plates, they have warp disruptors, they have reactor control units, they have signal amplifiers. I think they have some other stuff that's kind of cool too. Let me know if there's anything that's like surgical warp disruption probe. I think that's good. Oh, and Syndicate gas scoops. Syndicate gas cloud scoops, I think, is the big one, right? Isn't that? I think that's the big one. So that would be huge. Now, and the edge implant. So one of the things that's interesting about this that I didn't know is that, you know, my initial reaction was, oh yeah, exactly what the Caldari militia needs, more things on their LP store. But as part of this expansion, it looks like Caldari Navy hybrid ammo will no longer be in the LP store. So it looks like hybrid ammo will be exclusively a Gallente militia, or, you know, Gallente militia LP source. I mean, obviously other LPs, but like of the militias. And then the Caldari will only have access to faction missiles. Right now they have faction missiles and faction ammo. So now they'll have faction missiles, but then when this happens, they will get the rest of the Syndicate stuff already into their LP star if they're successful. If they're not successful, then the new stargates between the two systems remain incomplete. The Intaki Syndicate seeks refuge, and its member corporations are absorbed into the Gallente Federation. And the Intaki Syndicate LP offers become available in the Federation Defense Union Loyalty Point store. So if the failure is actually just straight up good for the Gallente. So this is actually one of those interesting things, because so far it doesn't look like there's a way for us to disrupt these efforts. But there's a clear reason why the Gal Mill dudes would want to actively attempt to disrupt whatever the Caldari are trying to do. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, as, you know, the Gal Mill guys try to deny the Cal Mill guys the ability to complete their tasks in hope to make them fail. And then the State Corridor. Inakamon is a system in the Caldari Gallente war zone, and TTAC LIWS is a system in the Caldari-controlled Nullsec region of Syndicate. As these two systems, they'll be linked by a new Stargate corridor. Bulwarks are systems of high-security strategic support systems bordering the war zone, and the war zones are the active areas of conflict which Capsuleers fight other Capsuleers. So that's the Caldari one. The Minmatar one, which would be the Starkmynir Restoration. Restore the Starkmynir to their historic worlds and boost the Republic industry in the process. Reclaim Arzad and Ezra for the Republic, returning Arzad 2 to its true title, Starkmynir Prime. Once again, it's got tasks, it's got active and upcoming tasks. It does say, here's one, build warrior in Minmatar bulwark stations. So we can see here, it's not enough to just build a warrior, which is, of course, the drone. You have to actually build it in one of these 9 systems, because these are the 9 systems that are Minmatar systems that are adjacent to the Minmatar Amarr war zone. Okay, so that's what a bulwark is, and bulwark has special sites and special activities and special restrictions. Like reasons why it's important. Going back. Uh-oh. I have locked up my client. There it is. Those systems can go lawless. Most of them, sure. Probably. Sure. Destroy hostiles in Minmatar High-Sec, hack in the war zone, mine Dark Ochre, so on and so forth, right? And hold on. Oh, I'm in the wrong page. This is the page I want to be on. It's weird. This is definitely... Okay, no. The Caldari one have basically the same amount of verbiage. All right, so the Minmatar one, campaign briefing. Here it is. Oh my god, so scrolly. Before the darkest day, our ancestors took to the star. The Starkmere tribe was so dedicated to our future, they built a new home on a distant planet. The Amarr tried to take that future, and when the Starkmere resisted, the Empire all but destroyed them. For centuries, this crime had been allowed to stand, but no longer. This time, we're going to restore the Starkmere and bring about a new age of prosperity for the Republic. If restored, their ancient knowledge could be key to understanding and changing astral topology or topography of New Eden. Hackers, engineers, guardians, and soldiers of the tribes of Matar call on you. Together we shall take back our lands, erase the lie that is RZ2, and reinstate Starkman Prime. Let the new dawn of Starkmanir light our way to glory. Success. RZ2 is Starkmanir Prime. The sovereignty of RZ and Ezra systems will change from Amarr to Minmatar. We have talked about that already. Given the way that this works, that means that this will be kind of in the heart of the war zone, which does mean that the systems adjacent to it should theoretically always be either controlled by the Minmatar or be a frontline, because it will be because those systems will be controlled by the Minmatar. They will also, I don't know if those that'll theoretically make them bulwarks because they'll still be low sec. But in a failure, the Amarr build the landmark to their control in Arzad. This one's kind of the least. Oh, also Starkmanir uncover new phase fields in Minmatar high security space. That is the big one, where like these phase fields, which are the the super cool prismaticite asteroids that only spawn in low sec and high sec, or sorry, low sec and null sec, and are very dangerous and only show up visible without probing in the second 24 hours, etc., etc. Those will now be in high sec, which would be pretty dramatic. I find it funny that like the failure state, this one is so much less developed than the Caldari one, right? Like it isn't that the Amarr don't get phased fields if the Minmatar fail. It's just like, oh, the Amarr get a landmark there instead. Very, very different. It is worth noting that I realized as we were talking about this the other day on Discord, that these are very much, all 4 of these theaters of war, they are the 4 classic victory conditions of a 4X game. We have the Caldari going for a military victory by trying to conquest and control the Syndicate region. We have the Minmatar going for a cultural victory by renaming one of their ancestral homes and establishing their, their cultural research and development. We have the Amarr going for an economic victory by rebuilding the Amarr trade hub and giving them better, giving them better taxes. And we have the Galente going for the science victory by researching rogue drones. So I started like thinking about that, and then I realized that the comparison was just too good. I think that has to be that almost has to be where this came from, right? Because they all have different focuses and they're balanced together, and it seems like they just basically took the 4 basic 4x victory conditions, which I think is very, very juicy. Either way, the Amarr one. Bring glory to the Amarian economy and elevate the Emperor Family Academy Station in Amarr to its true home of the sanctified commerce. Make it a shining light of holy prosperity envied throughout the cluster. So, theoretically speaking, they want to make a new station for Amarr Trade Hub. Our Holy Empress Catus I has tasked us with bringing glory to the material lives of those who have dedicated their spirits to the Lord. It is our task to elevate the economic power of the Amarr by building the most blessed exchange. Our empire requires the security of gold. Jita, that pit of profane greed, has slipped through the Caldari's clutches. As they falter, we shall rise. The Emperor Family Academy in Amarr has long been the center of trade within the empire. We will construct a specialist deaconry to oversee the new dawn of economic improvement. All ye faithful must clear the way for this glorious work, cast out the heretics, put our enemies to flame, explore every corner of creation, build a magnificent industry, and become our Empress's will manifest. So as a success, the deaconry of economic oversight around the Amarr Empire Station, so a new thing around that, and I think they're going to give a new model. And for 6 months, there's going to be a 50% reduction in taxes and broker fees inside of that one station. So this is not a permanent change. This will be for 6 months. So for half a year, you will get better taxes in Amarr than anywhere else, basically. Taxes and fees in Amarr Prime. This is an interesting thing because it might... There's been a lot going on to maybe shake up Jita and its influence in the universe. And there's also, we would note that they have actually rerouted the distance between Amarr and Jita. This has already happened in Sissi. So if we go here, we can see that on Sissi, the route between Jita and Amarr is 34 jumps, where on Tranquility, that is 45 jumps. Now, it still has at least one of the main choke points between the two. As a person who fought so hard to take Niarja, I don't mind this. It's fine. 30 jumps is still a lot, as long as it's not like less than 20. As long as it's still navigationally better to go to Dodixie or one of the others, then I'm okay with that. And I think it's interesting that they are exploring this idea of changing the value of things by like changing the tax rates and whatnot. It's an interesting idea, and I think that committing to only 6 months makes a little bit of sense because we'll have to see how it changes things and whether or not we'll be offered an opportunity to maybe make it more permanent or to see how it goes. Any wormhole buffs? Not that I've seen. I mean, like, only incidentals. I wonder if they'll increase the distance. All I've seen is new connections, so nothing's getting longer. Some things are getting shorter. So and then failure, incomplete decanery of economic oversight, and 3 months of 50% reduction in taxes and broker fees. So this is one of those things that kind of bothers me about this, because we see this in the Gallente one too. Spoilers, we're going to get there. I don't like that the failure gives you it. Like, they're going to get 3 months of changed taxes either way. So they're not even fighting for reduced taxes. They're fighting for an extra 3 months of reduced taxes. And that really, I don't know, man. I feel like that seems to take a lot of the air out of it, right? Like, it should, I think it should be 6 months or nothing. I think that the fact that, in one case, in the Caldari case, the Caldari failing is literally a victory for the Gallente. And in this case, like, a failure for the Amarr is still a success for the Amarr and not really anything valuable to the Minmatar at all. I'm not buying this one. I don't like it. I think that yeah, if anything, I would think that they should get an increase if they fail. Yeah, what TL says, I agree with that. Like, it just seems so. Come on, CCP. Like, this is our, or not, yes, whatever. It's, come on, Fenris. This is our opportunity. You're the wolf of Ragnarok. Let's get a little bit fucking hardcore with this shit. Let's not pussyfoot around and give the winners a participation trophy. If they lose, they should lose. That's, yeah, I don't know. I'm not, this is probably one of my least favorite pieces out of all of this. Although my other favorite, least favorite piece is about to come up. Unless that does some, unless the decannery of economic oversight. I think that's just the new model. Like, it's the construction around it. And then this is all just the same information. But this isn't an event with consequences. It's the beginning of a seasonal system with consequences. The whole point of this is that it has consequences. It already has consequences. It has the 3 months. Like, the point is that if victory is going to have consequences, failure also has to have consequences. The entire point of this is to have consequences. This isn't like a know-nothing event where everybody's just trying to get points. This is about players being asked to work over the course of 6 months to complete objectives in order to make a meaningful change to the universe. That is what this is it was sold to us as. And so the idea that, like, I don't think that there should, like, it being asymmetrical isn't bad in its own right. The fact that the Gallente are motivated to cause the Caldari to fail in a way that the Mimitar are not motivated to cause the Amar to fail isn't the part that's bad. I like the fact that there's different relationships being explored here. I do not like the idea that there's already a problem in the fact that this feels like it's setting them up to succeed. There is no disruptive effort, direct disruptive effort between these things. The only way that these could fail is if people fail to do it. Like, apathy is the major reason why one of these tasks could fail. So I would assume that all of these tasks are going to be successful, right? Like, there's almost no reason, like, yes, some of them could fail or whatever, but I feel like we could just assume that the default is that people will engage with it. People will get their rewards because they want to do it, and so they'll succeed. And so to put to hedge your bets, right? To give a half answer if you fail, I feel is really weak. And this is, you could argue that this could go either way, but the next one I feel is a better example of this, okay? Which is the Gallente one. Well, yeah, in that you're the chosen ones by God. Therefore, you should have more at stake. There should be a bigger consequence to failure. Do you really? Is Amar really the group of the good enoughs that you could fail and still get your bonuses? Is that really the expectations that you want on yourselves, Amar loyalists? No, you should show the greatness of God, and with the idea that without your efforts, things will burn, and through your efforts, it will rise up. That's what I would like. Yeah, give penance. Exactly. Do you think that the rewards for opportunities need to be changed because being limited to how much you contribute makes the reward not so great? I know it on the test server. I expect that everything on the test server is very compressed for the sake of testing. So I don't know how much. I think that we'll see that. I haven't really dabbled into the experience of it as much as you have specifically. So we'll probably play around with that a little bit today. But the balance of, like, how much the contribution is and how much the reward is for the contribution, I would assume that everything in is just especially if this part is fake numbers to make this playtest of 4 days work, as opposed to a the real version, which will be 6 months. If Amar fails, lose access to the Amar Trade Hub station for 6 months. Okay, no. That'd be a little bit easy. Everyone does the things. Does this mean that all those things happen for all 4 races? Yes, if everybody does everything for all 4 races, then all 4 races get their way. And they all 4 races can succeed. All 4 races could theoretically fail. Each one of them are completely independent. No, I think that it's designed to get you to, like, broaden your contributions. it is nice that you can do all 4 races. Some tasks do require you to be in faction warfare, but a lot of the tasks don't. All right, so Galente. We have Operation Rogue Edge. Curb the rise of rogue drones and unlock new technological frontiers by helping to build the infrastructure necessary to research these dangerous intelligences en masse. It is interesting, though, that the Caldari one, either way, the Intaki Syndicate is being dissolved, right? Because either they get absorbed by the Galente or they get absorbed by the Caldari. Either way, the Syndicate will no longer exist after this military campaign is over. Arguably might not exist starting on the 9th, but either way. I seem a tad low today. That's weird, because like my thing keeps saying that I'm peaking, so I'm hesitant to turn myself up. But oh, maybe hold on. Let's see. How's that? Is that better? Uh-oh. Is that better or worse? That's worse, isn't it? Hold on. Is that better? Oh, hold on. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. Nah? Is this better? I accidentally bumped my dial this morning. It's fine. Well, now everything's going to get fucked up. Everybody has to reset their settings now. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. That's louder. That's better? Okay, we're just going to go with that. We're going to go with this. If this is what you guys like, this says that I'm in the red, so whatever. I'm going with what makes you guys happy. All right, campaign briefing. President Alex Moreau has signed the Rogue Edge Executive Order, establishing the Federation's most ambitious research project to date, its goal, the mastery of rogue drone technology. Our president was elected on a promise to replace ignorance with intelligence. Thanks to their innovative thinking, a new research initiative in partnership with Creodron aims to harness rogue advancements for the good of the Federation. If we are successful, new infrastructure not possible with our current technology will become possible, as faster travel with Intaki and Dodixi. Success will require military testing, a flood of new data, an efficient industry, and the utmost security. Together, we can build a better future and gain a unique edge over the enemies of freedom. Success. New gates are construction between Renin and Jafit, shortening the route from Intaki to Dodixi to 6 jumps, where all the systems of this planned new path belong to the Federation. A new low-waste variant of the excavator drone is developed and made available by the Federation Navy Loyalty Point store. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Here we go. So this is the Pluto mining drone. It says prototype drone developed by Creodron based on Or's excavator drone designed by incorporating experimental rogue drone technology. The harvesting protocols have been altered to behave much more like a rogue drone would when salvaging and recycling minerals to be brought back to a rogue drone hive. The result is far more efficient mining process, creating less residue, albeit a slower one, resulting in lower mining yields over time. Currently, this drone is unsuitable for mass production due to a high rejection rate. With the rogue drone technology, Creodron is hoping to improve their understanding of this process from knowledge gained by the Galente Federation military campaign operation Rogue Edge. So just based on the verbiage here, I think that the assumption that I have is that this is going to be something that will be available as one of the rewards for participating in the event, potentially as like a limited way of getting it. And then this is going to be a long-term reward that will be in, as it says here, in success, the Federation Navy Loyalty Point store, which is not the militia, by the way. Otherwise, failure, only able to construct gates between Renin and Elme, reducing the distance between Intaki and Dodixi from 9 jumps to 9 jumps while still keeping the area new route fully within Federation territory, or beats the Federation to developing the new low-waste variant of the excavator drone, making it available via or loyalty point store. So again, like, this is actually the one that really bothers me. The Amar one doesn't bother me as much. This one kind of does, because, well, first of all, we were promised that there would be a new drone. So it looks like this new drone's coming either way, right? So it's like, okay, well, if the Gallente don't get it, then Or will. So this new drone is coming either way, which already makes this a lot less exciting, although there is also this ice harvesting drone. But yeah, already care a lot less, right? Not only do I not care about excavator drones that much, but like, or, I mean, admittedly, Or is a lot harder to get than Federation Navy, but yeah, it seems kind of lackluster, especially since Federation Navy isn't Gallente militia, so that's more for mission runners versus people who go out to do missions in Or space, which already Or has so many valuable things in their available to them in on their loyalty point store and on their market when it comes to BPOs and stuff. Oh, it will. Okay, Setonia does confirm it will be in the FDULP store as well, so it would be an advantage for the Gal Mill. So that's good. I like that. I do like the fact that it is a possibility for the Gal Mill, especially when combined with the fact that combined with the idea that hybrid ammo is no longer on the Caldari militia one. Man, the Gallente have the best opportunity to take advantage of military campaigns. Can you imagine what will happen if the Gallente... Now, obviously, anybody who knows anything about how EVE has worked for the last 20 years would understand how impossible this is to happen. But let's for a moment fantasize about what would happen if the Caldari group fails in their mission and the Gallente succeed in theirs. The Gal Mill LP store would have everything it currently has, plus everything in the Syndicate LP store, plus these new excavator drones. It would be absolutely wild. The Gallente by far have the largest amount to gain, like maximally, in this set of military campaigns. If they can somehow succeed in both completing their campaign and forcing the Caldari to lose theirs. Now, part of that's because they, of all of the empires, have the most to gain from another empire losing their campaign. But it is still true, like, they have such an opportunity here. But I am so, like, again, this idea that, like, how many people, show of hands, how many of you have wanted to join Gal Mill, have wanted to participate in Gal Mill, but then have been turned off by the fact that Intaki is just so far away from Dodixie? Show of hands, anyone? Anyone? No one? Literally never heard that complaint before? Exactly. So, like, yes. Oh, okay, sorry, there's one person, Thranz, the guy who does all of the hauling for the convocation. Okay, yes, Thranz, you get a shorter route. I'm glad that you're happy with that. But like, this idea of, like, oh, it's now going to be 6 jumps, but even that, I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's fine. The excavator drone makes it so that at least there's something interesting going on there beyond just that extra gate connection. But this idea that failure means that, oh, it's only reduced to 9 jumps instead of 6 jumps is so fucking lame. It's lame. It's so lame. Can you imagine going through those 9 jumps and being like, I'm so glad this, like, how many jumps is it between Intaki? Hold on. Dodixie. We're going to set destination to Dodixie. That's 3 jumps. And then we go to Intaki. Add waypoint. So 9, wait, it's 9 now. It's 9 now. Botane? It doesn't, okay, oh my god. Oh my god. This whole it goes all through Federation space is because it goes through Genesis. So Concord space. That's the whole thing that they're trying to get around. But we got Botane, Oriphe, Chantreuse, Osmodon, Skolazur, Gis, Anseli, Jafit, Amignon. I lost track of, yeah, it's 9 jumps already from Gallente to Intaki. So what? Because this says reducing from. No, I'm on Serenity. I'm on Sissy, rather. I'm on Sissy. Well, but this is this is not completed yet, so it shouldn't be there. To reduce gank zones, I don't. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter because it's the same, but the verbiage is very confusing for this. I just asking people to care about reducing the number of jumps between Dodixie and Intaki, asking Galmil, of all people, to give any kind of shit about how many jumps between Dodixie and Intaki there is insane. I don't think anyone in Galmil even knows how many jumps are between Dodixie and Intaki by default, and would not be celebrated if it was reduced. That excavator drone could be good for their own selling, but I can tell you, I know a lot of people in Galmil that are going to look at this and be like, I don't care at all, even a little bit about this. It reduces it from 10 to 9 and stops you from going through net neutrals. Okay, so I miscounted or something. Okay, so from 10 jumps to 9 jumps. But again, I hate the idea that failure is still victory, right? The idea that you're doing all of this to make a better connection between Dodixie and Intaki, but yet you still get a better connection even if you fail. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think that, especially when you compare it to the Caldari one, you're gonna piss off the Caldari militia guys because they're gonna feel like they're the only ones set up for failure. You're going to completely unmotivate the Gallente militia guys because none of them give a shit about Intaki, and I would be willing to get challenged on that opinion, but I've yet to see it. And I mean, okay, Orifei can be ganked by Caldari and Guri. Okay. How many people are hauling from Dodixie or moving from Dodixie to Intaki of all places in order to get into the war zone? Not that many. Most militiamen, especially Galmil. Now, obviously, Galmil is a little bit different now because they can go to Jita, but like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Give them a better path to Jita, or give them something. The militia guys are not going to care about a high-sec route between Dodixie and Intaki. They're going, the Gallente militia guys are going to be more motivated. It is better. It is just better. It is a better task for the Galmil to stop the Caldari than to succeed at their own task. That bothers me greatly. Now, it might be interesting. It might make the Galmil focus on being this guerrilla warfare disruptive force rather than completing their own task. But like, I don't know, man. I don't. The fact that we get the drone either way, the fact that the gates still get made and it's just 3 extra jumps, I can't be made to care, and it feels like they've cheapened the very thing that they've made. Now, that is just my opinion. I'm more than happy for their opinions for other people's opinions to be made. It also reduces Intaki to Haid by 6 jumps as well. Okay. But only if you go through high sec. It's hard to care about any of this. It just seems like an expansion to make faction warfare even more easy mode. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Again, the Syndicate connection, if anything, supports the nullsec groups trying to move around between null regions, although, kind of. I wouldn't necessarily think that it really supports. I guess it supports some faction warfare dudes trying to do stuff in Syndicate as like a extension into nullsec. The Amar one is the most like dramatically impactful of all of them. Besides, I think that the Mimitar success is, in my opinion, the most important one. If the Mimitar fail, so if the Mimitar succeed, we get Prismaticite in high sec. And if they fail, we don't. That's the most impactful of all of them, because that's a whole new thing in HiSec that isn't already in HiSec. A reduced waste excavator drone supports nullsec. The connections for the Caldari state mostly support nullsec, although the changes for who get the LP store for Syndicate is very impactful. The Amar one is cool and an interesting, like from a meta point of view, it's going to be an interesting one to study to see how it like affects things. But like the Mimitar one is new content added to the game. I want to know what is meant by changing the Sov of Arzad Ezra when it's in the war zone anyways. I think that they mean by that is that it's no longer going to be part of the war zone in the same way that like Intaki, and well, Intaki's a bad example because it also had its security status elevated, but like, you know, the constellation that Intaki is in includes several systems that used to be in the war zone and are now just Galente Losec. So my assumption is, and you know, we could get corrections, my assumption is that, oh, it's the permanent sovereignty of the system rather than the occupancy, so it'll still be in faction warfare. Oh, it's even less impactful than I thought. Okay, so let me see if I understand this correctly. So every system in the war zone has a base ownership. That's what decides what rats are in it, what ice or whatever spawns there, etc., etc. So, like for instance, I think BlackRise is Caldari. Every system in BlackRise is owned by the Caldari, but because it's in the war zone systems can be taken by either side. So when the Galente take a system in BlackRise, it is still a Caldari system. It's just occupied by the Galente, which is why there's sometimes weird things about where bonuses apply or where things spawn or whatever, because like BlackRise is a Caldari region, but it can be occupied by the Galente. So in this sense, no one's ever going to even notice this, because when we think of the sovereignty of a system like Arzad, we think of who owns it as far as faction warfare goes, not the base understanding. So under the hood, Arzad currently is owned by the Amar Empire. It just can be occupied by the Minmatar. So what's going to change is that Arzad will be owned by the Minmatar, but still able to be occupied by the Amar. So mechanically for faction warfare, nothing changes. Basically, all that happens is that RZ2 becomes Starkminer Prime, and it's for lore purposes. Amar or like Mimitar people can be more butthurt when things happen to it because it technically is owned by the Mimitar and is occupied by the Amar. Is that a good clarification or understanding of the future of Arzad? I think people in systems that are going to be taken into faction warfare will notice if the normal faction warfare system effects are applied, such as being incapable of spawning non-faction warfare anoms. This doesn't change what systems are faction warfare systems, because these are already faction warfare systems. Wait, start measuring by the diameter of the systems if the warps are shorter, it's faster? Okay. Kind of annoying that an entire region is being taken into faction warfare. What are you talking about? Syndicate wasn't a faction warfare system. It's still, I mean, like, it's being brought into the war, but it's not faction warfare. It's not like Galente can start plexing in Syndicate, right? Am I crazy? That's not in anywhere in any of this, right? Still be cool for the Mimitar our peers to have the system. Yes, it is absolutely. I still stand by the idea that this is the cultural victory, and also like who gives a shit of whether or not they rename Starkminer Prime? It's still going to be the most impactful change, because having Prismaticite in HiSec is huge. It's a night and day difference. So I still think that the Mimitar task is the most like impactful. The Caldari one is the one that is, and it could very well be that this isn't, CCP's not dumb, or Fenris isn't dumb. They know what's going on. The Caldari have, at least for the last half decade or more, been absolutely dominant when it comes to any kind of event, any kind of tasks, or anything like that. So it makes sense that the Caldari's failure point is the most punishing. While, you know, some of the others are less punishing. And the Gallente have the most to get from, like, over victory, you know, both succeeding in their own task and stopping the Caldari in their task, because the Gallente have, for the last half decade or more, a little bit more, been the weakest positioned in basically any event that tracks them all. Race for the Hives, Shadow War, etc. So, I mean, it makes sense that they kind of put the most, like the biggest problem in the face of the Calmill, the biggest cost to failure to the Calmill. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these changes and whatnot, obviously. These are the military campaigns that I believe are going to impact basically the next 6 months after the expansion begins. I never got a correction, or I never got a confirmation from Satonia that my assessment of the Amar Mimitar RZ situation is correct, but I'm going to just assume that it is. Let us move on. What else is there? All right. God, we have so much to show today. How long? Oh my God, we're already an hour and a half in and we barely even started. Okay, great. I suspect that's why they divorced Jita from Caldari. They want to dial back Caldari supremacy in player minds. Well, that's because we've been asking for years for that to happen, because that way Gallente Militia has been defined by the fact that Caldari owns Jita for its entire existence. Oh God, if the campaigns are designed to be done over 6 months, people are going to burn out so hard that there isn't a real tug of war system. Well, it's just going to be, well, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see. It's just going to be something that plays out over the course of the expansion. I love long, exhausting, and complete tasks. Yeah. It's just there's going to be different tasks all the time, because different tasks start and finish at different times. So it's not like it's just, this is going to be the season, right? So some people might bust out their contribution early. Some people might do a little bit throughout the whole time. I have high hopes for the system. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be a failed experiment like freelance jobs. I wouldn't say freelance jobs is a failed experiment at all. I think that freelance jobs did exactly what it was doing, and this is built off of that. This is actually a payoff that they get from creating the freelance system. Oh, your talks. Hold on. Let me go back, because I love long, exhausting, and complete talks. I get you. Okay. Well, got it. Well, you know, that's fair. We will have a lot to cover today. Let me double check. There's so much to cover today. There's the new sites, which we're going to look at afterwards. Hobo leaks. Let me look real quick. Oh no, I posted stuff in the Discord that I thought was interesting. See if there's anything I want to pull up before we go into the Skinner stuff. So, oh, a couple other things that I noticed. There is a new attribute that they add to items now. Flag all as suspect on loot rec. Although this is 0. Never mind. Maybe I'm being dumb. I thought that meant, at first I read that as being that it would add a suspect flag to anybody who loots it. But now that I've looked at it, all suspect. It looks like it's actually tagged to 0 though. As. So that's 0. That's 0, 0, 0. So yeah, no, they're all set to off right now, so never mind. I haven't joined any militias right now while on the test server yet, because I'm trying to just look at all of the stuff that there is to look at. There is a lot of Skinner stuff. I've realized now that, like, I kind of don't want to force you guys to look through me poking at every single one of the new Skinner items. There are a couple of them that are pretty cool. But I feel like I would take like an hour just poking at different Skinner items, and that might make people a little bit meh. So maybe we'll look at them when we get closer to there. I think you guys are probably going to be more interested in the mechanics and stuff, right? There is... One of the things I do find interesting is that they did come back out with a bunch of skins that are from the Shadow Wars, but now on different ships. The Penumbral Shadows skins came from the Shadow Wars, and it looks like they've added them to a whole bunch of different ships, including basically all of the... Is it all the Navy issue ships? As well as... Magnate. There's so many of them. Most of the battle cruisers. I think it's... Is it all of the ships that have a Navy? I think that's what it is. I think it's all of the ships... Wait. Yeah. All of the ships that have a Navy issue that didn't already have the skin. They're giving it to the Navy issue and to the base copy of the skin. And it's these gold black skins that are pretty nice. So these are likely to be rewards for participating in the different sides, much like Shadow Wars was. What do you mean with no preview? You can see what stuff you don't have looks like in the studio? Yeah, I can. Wait, what? Yeah. I hate... No, there is a... you can preview Skinner stuff. Open Skinner. See, I can uncheck only showed own, and now I can see all these different skins, including this one. What is the one that I wanted to show off, if anything? Neon Forest Gloss. This is kind of the most tantalizing one that I found of them all. It's the green with like a purple sheen to it. But there's a lot of new colors, and there's a lot of new new patterns, including all of these numbers. So there's a whole set of numbers now, which is going to be kind of fun. Especially since I can hit mirror. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. There you go. We can do all kinds of fun stuff with this. I predict 8 will be the most popular. Yeah, probably. 8. But we also have... I said I wasn't going to do this, and now here we are. It's all right. Oh, there's also skins from Resource Wars. So I wonder whether or not there's going to be... Like, I think that the mining stuff in the Bulwarks is going to be a remake of Resource Wars, but I'm not sure. 6... Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Guys. We need Eve to appeal to a younger audience. So here we go. Here we go. I got you. I got you. We're going to make Eve appeal to a younger audience. Some of you's already figured it out. Hell yeah. Get them alpha clone, you know, Gen alpha clones, guys. Come on now. There you go. There you go. It's not even aligned correctly, just to really dig into your head and make you so... I'm taking a screenshot of this and sending it to my son because it's going to trigger him so bad. Hold on. All right. That's enough of that. What other patterns are there? Hold on. There are Divine Convergence. I do like the crack. Ooh. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So it's everything but the crack. That's kind of cool. There you go. That looks so dope. Hold on, I gotta send this picture to my son. He's gonna get so mad at me. All right. Imperial Destruction. What is this? Cradle of Honor. That one looks kind of cool. Republic Lineage. Oh, it's got like a fade effect to it. That's all right. I like that a little bit. Oh, that's interesting too. It's got like a not quite, I mean, it's textured. I don't know all the ones. Federal Cohesion, that's one. State Corridor, that's that one. Public Iconic. That looks kind of cool. Let me find it. There it is. Is that it? Yeah. Ooh. Okay. That's kind of cool too. Offset. Let's go and move that back to center. Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna get even more distracted. Let's see if there anything else jumps out at me as something I have to show you from the Skinner stuff. No. No. All right. And then as far as the other skins, we have not those. Oh, I didn't grab them. It is Crucifier, Omen. It's the Navy issues. So let's go ahead and look at Prophecy Navy. I live in Talkie and shop into Dixie. Galmil, you are right. This doesn't mean anything because most of us have hauler alts. If 1.8 is possible, are there two? There might be a problem. Wait. You can do 2 8s for sure. Yeah, you can do any 2 patterns at a time. So the Prophecy Navy issue skin is going to get War Reserves. So this is the skins from Resource Wars, but now they're putting them onto the new ships, or on the Navy ships rather, which I assume is also going to be a reward from the campaign. Military stockpile for the Caldari. We've got I mean, they'll probably figure it out, but they've probably figured that out already. And also, you can put a bunch of Plex in to make your skin, and then CCP revoke the skin because it's inappropriate, and then you're just out the Plex. So good luck with that, I guess. Pride of the Federation. No, that's not the right one. Strategic Material Defender. That's the mining one. And do Hurricane. I don't get the reference. Those are rewards for turning in new event crystals to item trade-ins in War Headquarters systems, which you get from mining and bulwark systems. Okay, so not Resource Wars exactly, but new mining content and bulwarks and rewards from it. Where is Fleet Ordnance? Yeah, this one. For the Mimitar. Okay. Now then. Let us I don't want to have a discussion about that on stream, guys. That's not an appropriate topic for this stream. Actually, let's go ahead and do a... Now, once you're in Sissy, you can do /move-me. And we can move to all these different places. And they're based on the different military centers and stuff. So, where are we gonna... what are we playing at? Malak, are you already in the war somehow? Oh, God. I should have specified. Yes, he's in Mimitar. All right, so we're going to go to... Ammo's the Mimitar one, right? Yeah, better towards MR. So while we're here, we can see a bunch of the military build-up sites, but we don't have... wait, what? No launcher fitted. What? I have a launcher right here. I don't know. Oh, moon probe. Okay, so here we can see angel dens, angel hideaways. Cool, cool, cool. Salvage research, that's a home front site. Veldspar deposit, that's not it. I don't see any new... if we open up Theaters of War, let's figure out which one has... Oh, the item trader is outside the Anchorage station. Yeah, but is there the sites here? That's a lot of sites. So let's go to the Anchorage. I have the Malak skin from Resource Wars and it's dope. Yeah, they are pretty good skins. So we're going to join the Minmatar campaign. So we have Build Warrior in Minmatar Bulwark Station. And that's here. And I can hack in the Minmatar Bulwark, and that's here too. So I can get... Okay, so I need to scan things down here. For the mining site, they spawn randomly in bulwark systems, but you can find them no matter where you are in New Eden by opening up the world map. and going to Bulwark mining sites. Okay, so we can see that there's some here in Asali and Jafet and Orville and Samanuni and Uralin and all them. And there are some down here. Obviously, the ones that are here probably got mined out pretty quickly. So we can go check those out too. And if we look, here's the anchorage. Where's the trader? There it is. Yeah, Republic Kaganite trade-in deposit. So if we look at this, we can turn in the special minerals that can only be mined in this system in order to, or in the Bulwark systems, to get a Republic Fleet large remote shield booster, Republic Fleet mining survey, Republic Fleet missile guidance computer, and Republic Fleet missile guidance enhancer. Hopefully that means that this is where this is going to come from, and not the warfront or the battlefields. But then also, aha! So we have Darkest Clay Satin Unlimited, Matar Moss Matte Unlimited, and then the different icon images, and then Starkveneer Ochre Satin. Man, that one looks really good, actually. Hold on, let me show you this one real quick. Oh, insurgency is affecting the system. Yeah. I mean, it's another, it replaces that gold metallic that is so expensive. There'll be career agents in Exordium? Yeah. You can see what systems are bulwarks by looking at the faction warfare warzone status filter on the world map. So we can go to faction warfare, warzone status. I see. Yeah, so we see bright, although that's not. I don't feel like this is working. This doesn't feel like it's working. Yeah, okay. Let me try turning it off and on again. Galente Federation. That color's in those systems, which is correct. And then if we go to Warzone status, nope. No data, it specifically says no data available. So I assume that it's just not working right now, because I just got an error that said no data available, which reminds me of like when I open up the Theater of War thing, it says failed to fetch data. So I'm assuming the backing data for some of this stuff is not working because we're on Singularity instead of on Tranquility. So I had no clue that this was in the game. Some of this is not in the game. We're on Singularity right now, which is the test server. This is what's coming with the expansion on the 9th. But what we're going to do is we're going to dock in here. We're going to grab a mining barge. So I have or mining frigate. Oh, no. You know what I'm going to do? And everything's so slow. Here we go, but we want to change this out for a mining laser. And that should be all good. So let's go ahead and buy this. This isn't going to work. Hold on. View market details. Is this not seeded? I guess we're just going to go to Ardar. Leave the ship. Let's just go through move me to where we want to go. I don't know. I don't know what's. You may also notice some new agents in all of the Shadow War anchorage stations. You're right. There is a new. Wait, was there no? Was these agents not available in there on Tranquility? I guess it makes sense that there's. Although it'd be nice if these were all militia, but it's not because it's Republic fleet. Anywho, let's go ahead and go buy some stuff. Test drone mining if possible, please. Maybe? We'll see. No, they're new, but there's already a militia station in the faction warfare systems. Fair enough. If drones count for activity, I mean, I would guess that it's not true, but we will give it a shot. Yeah, okay. There's already faction warfare missions in the war headquarters. That makes sense. But now there's new agents inside of the anchorages, which give people even more reason to live in the anchorages. Oh. I'm just happy that my pod skin now works. Also, my default setting for the pod skin apparently affects singularity, which is kind of interesting. I'm sorry. The skin is so mesmerizing. So, okay, we have the new sites. Objectives provide the contributing capsuleers to the following rewards: ISK, LP, and standings gains. Only PvP objectives will give out that Empire's faction militia LP. PvE objectives will give out that Empire's Navy LP. Standings gains, there are no derived standings loss, so it's only a gain. It's so good. I probably should have joined the militia before I came out here, but looks like somebody was here. Affected by Angel Cartel. Man, there's 5 people in local here right now. Oh my god, there's a Naglfar and a Bane. What is happening? Okay. Sure, why not? Test server's fun. But this, why are people in this system? There was no teleport to this system, right? Crazy. Let us fit this thing. Because this will let me hack and also do the mining stuff. All in all, I love these new events. Good job on those, but please calm down a little. My FOMO is killing me. Well, you're gonna have a while to do the stuff. If you don't get around to it in 6 months, I don't know what to tell you. All right. We're going to throw on that skin. I don't have my emblems here. And throw the rigs on. And take this out, put this on. All right, let's go. Open up the map again. And go to... Is it mining? Yeah, bulwark mining sites. We want to go here. Are we in a Mimitar system? We are in a Mimitar system. Okay, great. Oh no, we're in an Amar system. I don't want to... If I join here, I won't be able to undock. So let's just go. Need probes on that? Saw the launcher but didn't see probes? Yeah, you're good. Okay. Might. But... All right. You're right. I don't have probes on this thing for some reason. Ew, kickout station. How spooky. $16 probes. Okay, now we can go. My way of saying thank you for letting me E-war you the other day. Hey! Yeah, okay, great. Welcome, dude. Yeah, there was a guy in rookie chat that was just asking around. It's like, hey, I just need somebody to help complete my air campaign. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, you can do it to me. You know, I undocked and let him, nos me out for a little while. I was like, someday you can tell people that you had Ashtarothi help you. It'll be great. Welcome, man. I've been doing all the things since the Gal election. I'm still only at 12K Warpath Intel. 12K Warpath Intel is a lot of fucking intel, dude. No comment on that one. 1200 Warpath Intel is 2.5 officer modules. That's the correct way to tell the story. I guess, sure, why not? All right, 07, Tony. Comes in here, helps me out with my stream, heads out. I have only 11K so far. You guys are crazy. Amar Battlefield. Oh, and a basic one. How are you guys? You guys with like over 10K points or Intel, what's your method of choice for grinding? I get people asking me that all the time, but I don't have a good answer for them. What is your go-to way of grinding up the tokens? 18k? Frig sites for the elite path kills? But you're doing it on different accounts. And different characters and different accounts. I guess it would make sense to grind it on multiple accounts instead of just continually grinding on one account, because there's the points that you get from the track path too. So that'd probably be, and the frigate, anybody can fly the frigate sites basically. Friend already bought 3 Bastion modules. He's stealing from cruiser sites. That's a good friend right there. I have 2 tunes running the combat sites. Should I really tell? But you can avoid. We're on its early, like on its as much as you want to tell, whatever. Just like which activity. You don't have to give details about your secrets, but like, are you finding it being combat sites, hacking sites, whatever. You're sitting in a metamorphosis. You're stealing from people, aren't you? Rig combat sites every 10 minutes so you can do a site, give or take. That's good. I've got lots of implant drops. You got implant drops from the combat sites? Oh, you're not lazy. I may be lazy, but you're not stealing. Oh, okay. I just figured if I was running around in Metamorphosis, that'd be probably what I was doing. Wait. Here's a site. Republic something or other. Let's go check it out. Where's the market? So mining. Put out a ping. Oh, I don't have the thing. All right. Cagnite X grade. And when we do this, I'm going to scan down this combat site or this signature. Cruiser sites can chop genolutions. Oh. Links weren't allowed, right? You're going to have to, you'd have to DM me it. Hold on. I don't know if this is going to work. I doubt it will. If my bot responds to it, maybe. But I'm pretty sure it just won't work. No, you'd have to DM me the link. Oh, nope. Hold on. Maybe. You can give it a shot. It might still get eaten by YouTube. Why am I being attacked? Wait, what? An angel outlaw? Okay. I assume that's probably just normal mining rats. No, okay. Well, we tried. My son messages me back. Are you responsible for this? I mean, my son may never talk to me again. Warpath Intelligence Cache, not what I wanted. And we have gotten... This variant of Cagnite ore is especially prized by Mimitar engineers for use in large-scale construction projects. Deposit has been held in reserve until such a time as the Republic needed them. Unlike regular Cagnite ore, X-grade is more stable and can be reprocessed without specialized equipment into titanium and pyrite, as well as providing crystalline Cagnite, which is valuable by the Mimitar Republic. Wait. Oh... Okay, so you get titanium and pyrite and this extra doodad. The Amar Empire will reward capsuleers who bring this mineral to trade-in transports outside of the Amar Navy anchorage station located in Ammo. Close. Close? So I assume that should be Mimitar Republic instead of Amar Empire. But the system's correct. But there's no trade-in here? So I have to mine it here, and then I'd have to take this all the way back to turn it in at the turning point. Each journal has some Warpath defense grid and complex loot histories. Ooh, I should check that out. So I assume that the turning point, I didn't pay that close attention to it, but I assume that the turning point was asking for this, not this. Does anybody remember? Can anybody go back real quick and find out? No, I think this is just a mistake, because it even says ammo, which would have been that's the Mimitar one anyways. Traded needs the mineral. Okay. Can we compress it? Don't know. Wait. What do you have? Services. Reprocessing. Sweet. Let's go find out. So there's nothing about this system exactly that's telling me that this is a bulwark system. Like, I'd have to know. As a matter of fact, why is this a bulwark system? This shouldn't... What? Wait. Okay. I don't know why this site exists in this system then. Because this shouldn't be... I see. But this shouldn't be a bulwark system, though. Right? It's not adjacent to anything. If I click on the system name... Yeah. That one... Wait. Why is this one a bulwark system? Yeah, something's broken here. Okay. Okay, so they're spawning in the wrong systems. I go to the description. I'm 2 away from Amake. Bulwark systems are systems close to the war zone, but they're not all adjacent. Oh. Aubon is meant to be a bulwark. But there's nothing here telling me that? I did a show info. If I compress this, it compresses. Yes, you can compress it. Like a normal asteroid ore? Okay, something is broken in the show info. Got it. It should tell me that I'm in a bulwark. Is it because I'm not in the militia yet? I doubt that would be the deciding factor, but let's go ahead and just join the militia now and see what happens. Nah, just something broken? Okay. So these all can have the mining site and the data site, right? Hold on. Theaters of War. Geography. Bulwark systems are high-security strategic support systems bordering the war zone. While not sites of direct conflict, they offer opportunities to support campaigns and advance your faction's progress towards victory. Okay, well... Build Warrior and Mimitar Bulwark Station. Hack in Mimitar Bulwark. So that's the one that I need to try to find. I technically don't need to be in the militia to do that, but I'm still going to. I guess open this back up. Faction Warfare. Oh, enlist with faction. Empire. Minmatar. Enlist me? Okay, so now I'm in the militia. And we're going to go next door to see if we can find anything in that system. Yeah, so bulwark mining sites are these three systems. None of, or, well, this one over here too. Okay, yeah, so these three. Faction Warfare. Yeah, no data there. Got it. So there's the militia. Okay, so this is, these systems are in the constellation HUV. Right. So they're in the same constellation as systems in the war zone. Which probably is why they count. No sites. Besides, there is a mining site, but there's no hacking sites. Let's keep going. Get to see what to do with the mobile depot. I mean, theoretically speaking, I can swap to gas scooping, but that's not... Oh, no, that's the same place I just came from. Hold on. What? Oh, I got it. I went from there to there, so now I need to go back. Got it, got it, got it. Let's go check Damelin real quick, then, because it should also be a bulwark site, by my logic. This one an Oda trick. One hacking site? Okay, I'm heading there. You should hang out on my stream and tell me that on Tranquil. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, hold on, actually. Let me double check something, because I think if I want to get credit for this, do I have to have already accepted the task? Campaign. Do I have to? Yeah, I need to. Okay, so I have to opt into it before I can get credit for it. So I have to opt into it. So if I hack without doing that, it's like, congratulations, you did it for nothing, and it doesn't complete the tasks. So if somebody goes in and, like, for instance, if somebody who doesn't want the cow mill to win go in and do all the cow mill tasks on top of them, but don't opt into it, they can make sure that it's harder to do those tasks. Is that what you're telling me? Is you can do the task and not get credit for it, so you can burn the credit. So if you go in to every single bulwark system and mine out every single thing as soon as it spawns, you can make sure that the cow mill can't do it. Is that what you're suggesting to me? Asking for a friend. Use type C to mine? Yeah. There we go. That's going to be our choke point. I wonder how many things you've got to get them to fail at in order to make the entire season fail. I mean, I assume that it's not like if you miss one task, you lose. It is not the first time that type C is useful, to be clear. It is the funniest time for type C to be useful, though. How does it work? How does what work? Oh, type C is a special type of crystal that does 13 times the waste. You literally use it to just destroy the rocks rather than mine it. All right, so Imperial Intelligence Exfil. Let's see if I can even get in with this ship now that we... Wait, what was that? Alert, capsuleers who activate this acceleration gate will incur a suspect timer and become legal targets for all other capsuleers. It's a suspect scout Imperial Intelligence Exfil. It shows up on the thing as soon as I warp to it, even though it's a data site that I scan down. Oh no, this is so exciting. Okay, let's see. Am I gonna get fucking killed in here? I hope so. I can't get in. Damn it! Alright, hold on. I knew that was a possibility. I have... Oh my god. Can I get this guy in? No. Wait! Oh, no T2! Alright. Where is my nearest cool thing that I can use? Ivar? No. Wait, hold on. Can I do Tech 2? No, wait. No Tech 2 frigates either. Alright. Alright. Well, yeah, but I have to be in a different system, I think. Oh, next door. Perfect. We'll get this taken care of, guys. Don't worry. So... yeah, we'll use this one. No T2 ships. Yeah. We're not doing a T2 ship. We're buying a new one. Sorry, just to be clear, I only did that because that was the thing that I could use to open up the market to find where the nearest seeded stuff was. That's the only... I wasn't trying to buy another anathema. Just to be clear. I was just using it as an opportunity to open up the market. Imicus Navy, which just got a buff, right? It has... Wait. Didn't the Amicus Navy, did it only have one turret before? Didn't it just get +1 hardpoint? I thought it went from 2 to 3. Did somebody on the internet lie to me? That was the Mollis Navy, not the Amicus Navy. Carry on, carry on. It's fine. So the content is high-sec data set. That's just one tiny. We're just examining little pieces of stuff. There's also new battlefields or new, war zone sites and stuff like that too. We're just. I'm looking into what this whole bulwark thing is, which is high-sec systems near the war zone, not just adjacent to, but it sounds like all of the systems in the same like constellations or within a certain area of the war zone. Check if you go suspect if you enlist. I am enlisted. Yes, I am in the Minmatar militia right now. I'm at war with the Amar and the Angels. Alt F4 doesn't do what you think it does in this game. Nice try, though. Oh, you know what we can do? You know what we should do? Hold on. Oh, I can't, there's no task to mine. So I can't see if it credits it for the mining, because I don't actually get credit for mining it. Alright, that's fine. Whatever. But now the site's open, so anybody can warp to it. So you can sit in Bastion, or in these systems, and as soon as somebody tries to go into the exfil, you can just go in there and kill them. So yeah, you can defend the sites in these I keep saying, it's not a Bastion, it's a what's the term? Bulwark. I'm gonna be such a dirty seagull. Yes, but it's T1 and Navy frigates. Yeah, but if they're going in to hack it and you come in like a comet, you're gonna be able to guard them. This one piece is. This is the high-sec portion of it. Calm down. Yeah. H and I can kill a comet. You get what I'm saying, though. So I currently have safety green. I do like the interceptor-only site, too. That's kind of an interesting one. And the battlecruiser one sounds really interesting. So this should fail. It does fail, because my safeties are set. So if I set my safety to partial, now I should be able to activate this, and it caused a suspect flag. It's not quite as good as getting people to run around in suspects as the battlecruisers, but this is fun. I'm okay with this. There's rats! Oh, there's rats in here. Uh-oh. Can I fight them? Okay. Oh, there's a lot of cans in here. I have the task, right? Yeah, so my progress, I need to get 4 cans. There's 11% global progress. I need to get around this giant rock. Let's do that. My drones are idle and also huge. Why are my compact mode? There we go. So if I send my drones out to kill that, while I go and hack this can— whoa! Scrammed and neuted? Really? Okay. That's cool. There's one dead. Definitely testing my tank, too. Do I not have enough? Scram and disrupted. Malediction. The malediction brings a scram? Or no, it wasn't. The malediction's bringing the disrupt. More spawning. This is getting spooky. Can I do this while hacking? Warp disrupting me into a hacking site is super spooky. Also, this is hard as hell. Hold on. I need to start... oh god, I'm going to fail this hack and then have to pay attention later. Alright, let's try again. Scram is so spooky. Military navigation. Run, 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 run. Scram is so spooky. Where's my scram coming from? An anathema. Why am I not locking it? Oh, it's this one. Is it this one? Yes. I need to kill this anathema and get the hell away from these guys. I need to think of a different setup for this. This is very exciting. Can I bring a Astero into here? There's a security can. Data crack, data specialization. Where? Data exfiltrator, exfiltrator. Data cracker, data speculator. Cracker, speculator, exfiltrator. I don't know. I don't think there's... is there a way to stop the rats from spawning? One to hack and one to kill the kill and have security? No, it's a scout navy rules. Wait, what? Oh, for like what gets in? Got it. Well, at least my shields are recovering. Still no Mamba changes? Correct. Alright, so that was a cracker, and it was a yellow. Let's try the exfiltrator, or whatever. I do like the new visuals for these hacking cans, too. Okay, so I did kill them all. So you can kill them all? You just have to wait. Or you have to get them all. Or, you know, there's a couple of respawns. My brain was kind of panicking a bit there. Oh, never mind. More spawned. So this one is a green can, so an easy can. And then the last one is the speculator, which there isn't that many isn't as many of, so maybe that's the red can. Also, I have to go through the other side of this goddamn rock. These do remind me. Wait, now that I remember, I think these hacking sites were basically in Shadow Wars, right? I remember these now. I remember these now because I remember having to kite out some of the rats as you hacked. Giving them scrams though make them a lot meaner than I remember though. Oh, this is a red can. Yep, this is definitely a red can. Oh, yep, there's the spike. Oof. There it is. Got it. And, ooh. Covert research, military navigation. Not terrible. Not terrible. 5 million for a single cannon high sec is not terrible, although I'm very, very, very exposed at the moment. I need to get one more data bank hack in order to complete my progress. Can destroyers do the site? No, it looked like it was frigates only. Yeah, it says it's a scout. Let's see if I can do the second red can. Just for funsies. All right. Good spike. Oof. We're going to put up a shield and break through this one. Yeah, that's what I thought. Colonel Rot. And, oh, I got a skin. Okay. And now I have 4 out of 4 of my tasks. So I think that means I can't get any more, right? I need to start moving. Killing some of these scrams. So if I open up my career path... Nope, not this one. If I open up opportunities, my UI is all messed up because I'm in the wrong server. If I change to opportunities, do I have rewards here? What is happening? Okay, here we go. I do get... here we go. Hack and Momentar Bulwark. So I've earned 1.4 million and 1,400 LP. I'm assuming that... So that should be... Republic Fleet LP. And I can claim this. And that also gave me something else. Oh, because I earned LP for any corporation. Aha! So now if I go here, I can see Oh! Oh no! So I could have been getting tasks. I could have been getting credit for this, but I didn't. So if I hit participate now on this one, and I wait for more rats to spawn, and then I kill the rats, that should count, right? So if I go back, I can see... Yeah, so here's new rats spawning. Learn more about campaign. No. It's so confusing how everything's kind of spread out between 3 different areas. It's hard to... It'd be so nice if it was all just in one place. But we can see... Oh, wait, I do have mine Cagnite now. Is that new? I didn't get credit for it. Oh, here it is. Hack in the war zone. No, that's in the war zone. Hack and Mimitar Bulwark. I see. So my percentage, the inner ring, the green ring is 100%, and the outer ring is at 22%. Because I've done everything that I can do. I can't earn any more rewards by doing this, but I did gain some positive standings. Hold on. With the Mimitar Republic? Campaign objective contribution. Here we see that I got, yep, I'm getting, and there's more because I just killed a dude. So it's killing guys, and now that I've entered into this task, before it didn't count because I hadn't entered into the task. Now I have entered into the task, so my killing of that rat gave me an extra 0.003, when the other 2 gave me 0.019 for hacking. I'm assuming at 2 cans and at 4 cans. So it is giving me positive faction standings for completing these tasks. Oh, it wasn't there before? Yeah, I mean, that's fair. And we can see that I am getting progress towards killing things right now because of this. So yeah, awesome. But if I hack this can, it doesn't do anything for me because I've already hacked the 4 cans, which are the maximum amount of contribution I can do for this task. And again, I assume that those limits are going to be increased when we get to the final version of this. This is just a limited scope version. I should just leave right now while there's no rats. Oh, rule of 6, rule of 6. There it is. Ooh. Deep Void Mat Limited. Okay. Okay. No, no, let's go. Get out of here. Get out of here. These are QA limits? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So we have... Can I test the MPE or the new simulations and stuff? Because there's a lot of really interesting stuff when it comes to the simulations. Oh, I'd probably have to leave the war at that point. So let's go ahead and play around with the new sites. What new sites are we wanting to play around with first? Which one? We've got T3 destroyers with wild effects. Rubber Dinghy Rapids? What? Maybe. I'm not sure what you're talking about, so I'm not sure. Mimitar Border Outpost? Huh. Let's see. Sure. Or hold on. This one looks better. Let's try that one. Buy that. Buy that. I forgot to turn on audio for the game, my bad. Whoops. Come on. Everything takes so long to load on Sissy. Never seen the ship? You've never seen the Hecate? It's a great ship. Let's put some rigs on here. That will allow me to turn on this last weapon. And make sure to get our skin correct. Kali Neon. Okay, so now I go into Theaters of War, go to Factional Warfare. Where am I? This isn't gonna work. Bossburger is the closest, right? I assume that's correct. Is that correct? Amake is closer? Yep, you're right. Let's go. You can open up opportunities. Go to the Faction Warfare tabs and search for sites. All right. I'm guessing these are all the different campaigns. It'd be nice to know whose campaign is for what. That's the Amar one. That's the Mimitar one. Participate now. And I need a... What is this one called now? What the hell is that? Oh, that's it. That's the one of the ones. An elite. Right? We're looking for elite. ELT. Excuse me. So Dal. Let's go to Dal. I do appreciate the fact that T3Ds and T3s in general, they've always been kind of the bastard children of faction warfare, so the fact that they have a spate says all is really cool. I only brought Void. Nothing could possibly go wrong. I don't have any other ammo besides Void. That seems fine. We'll see. I have some hams. Yeah, you're right. I do have some missiles. Look. We're rushing things, okay? Hidden treasure. Why is there a hidden treasure can that was white? Wait. What the hell did that mean? Hold on. How is a can white to me? Systems Lords. Recruiting. Okay, hold on. Shouldn't that be yellow to me? I guess it is. Okay, password protected. Got it. Okay, never mind. Edencom Fortress. I'm going to get killed by Edencom on Singularity. This is going to be great. Let's go. Aw. That's true. We could go navigation mode. That would have helped. So the battlecruiser one just makes you better at being that battlecruiser by raising your skill up by 1. The Tech 3 Destroyer one is the one that has all of the random bonuses that are crazy. Have I not picked? Thranz, calm down. There's still more work to be done. It's a long journey. I've got a lot to atone for. There should be also move me destinations in the war zone. I mean, there were some, but I think that this was just the fastest way for me to get to where I needed to be. Here it is. Contested liberated Elite 10. Am I going into war? Neutral. Garistus. Neutral. Neutral. Okay. So we'll see if they're in there. Oh my god, my D-scan hotkey is changed. I don't see another T3 destroyer, so that should work. It should be fine. Oh my god! My spacebar is my default, and now I'm just going to keep hitting that and be mad. Okay. So I go in, no suspect flag, because I'm in war. There are confessors inside and Svitpulls. And I get a bonus. My bonus is projectile, precursor. Jesus, so many. Why do I have so many? Why are there so many? I thought you were getting 3. I get projectile turret, precursor turret, ancillary remote shield and armor reps, webs, afterburners, top speed but reduced agility, overheat damage. How did I manage to get nothing good for me? That's something broken with sissy downtime stuff? Okay. Well, what I am interested in... Wow, this fit is bad. Oh, well, I'm not supposed to... Golly. Okay, well, this fit sucks. I can kill them all right, though. The thing I am kind of... Oh my god. The thing I am kind of interested in, though, with this is if I leave and come back, do I get different bonuses? That's what I'm curious about. So I'm going to leave real quick. And then head back in. Where is somewhere close? I guess we'll just go with this. It should always be 3, and it should always be those. So if I leave and come back, everybody who's in this exact site will have the same 3 bonuses, and that'll be the bonuses for this site, and then the next site will have a different set of 3. Correct? Why Precursor? The Trigs don't have a T3D? Oh, that's a good point. Hey, Satonia, what about that? Wait, no, because can you bring it? It's not only T3 destroyers, right? It's T3. You can also bring in Kikimoras, Damavix, and Nurgles. Seventh? You can bring the Kikimora, Nurgle, Damavix, and Draugr. Yeah, okay. I don't remember what this fit was for now. It has such little capacity. I think it's just... It was just to try to, like, hyper kill something. Seems very damage forward in its design. Although, I don't know. What's with this? What was I doing with this ship with double sensor boosters? I'm not like a... This isn't... I'm not a gate camper. What the hell was I planning on doing with this thing? Action Warfare gang? Maybe. Yep, it's the same bonuses. Killing NPC mining ships? Well, it said happy birthday, so something like the name of the fit was happy birthday, so I assume either somebody gave it to me or we did something on either my birthday or something. I don't know. So much of Eve. I've done so much in Eve at this point, it's hard to remember everything. I'm kind of embarrassed about this fit now. That's all. I wonder what the salvage is like. Bad. Complains about no trigs battlecruiser command ship? Hell yeah. Maybe. It could be a well-meaning friend. I feel like it was a thing that we were doing. It feels like I was doing something correct. Like it's supposed to catch people. Like this is very damage forward, trying to catch people and then lock them up fast. But there's no point. I don't know. I have no idea what we're doing here. But we can see that this is a 20-minute site. A 20-minute site? Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be a while. We're not going to do that today. Let's go ahead and head back. So that's how the bonuses work. And I need a better ship than this. So let's go ahead and head back to Ren's. We can maybe grab a battlecruiser. No, because we know how the battlecruiser site works, right? Well, we can check it, I guess. What's about points? Without a point, your ship has no point. It's true. I've longed, for years, longed for a T2 Dracovac. You and me both, buddy. Go get a Jackdaw? I can do move me to Ren's, you're right. It's for navies and below, no T2 battlecruisers? Boo! I'm a command ship enjoyer. I get that it's better that way, but you know, I need CCP to do more to tempt me to bring absolutions into low sec. That's all I know. hope it's big so I can snipe with the Naga. Well, it should be the same 30-kilometer range, but I mean, like, you could micro jump out and then snipe from there. If you're suspect in those sites, are smart bombs usable without Concord response? Yes. That means that smart bombs are usable inside of the site. Wait, that might still have some problems because you might hit, like, their wreck. I don't know, man. It's still sus. It would still be super sus. Because I think that even if they're suspect, if they kill a wreck, if they kill a rat, and so there's a wreck, and then you hit the wreck, it should probably still trigger a criminal flag. I'd be careful. All right. Let's see what battlecruisers. It's only Navy, right? So I can't bring a Drekavec into the new battlecruiser site either. It's almost like that's like all my battlecruisers. Oh, hell no, I don't really care about the battlecruiser site. Wrecks don't get damage from the SB? Maybe? I have definitely been concorded by shooting a wreck. Yes, the pod skin is now fixed for the Genelution pod. I have the Genelution pod, and you saw it earlier. I have the skin working now. They fixed it like the next day or two. I don't care about the battlecruiser site. I care about the new destroyer. So let's go ahead and... So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my normal Algos fit. I'm going to take... We're going to take the Anubis Algos fit, and we're going to put it on an Algos Navy issue and see what we get. Wait. The guy selling the skin. Want to buy one bill? Yes, the person who has the skins and are selling them still is in the chat. So, you're in the Discord, right? Wait. Do they not have the new destroyers in here yet? Oh, you're not? Oh. Well, I don't know what to tell you then. We do have a guy that has quite a few of the skins extra, and I'm also going to do a giveaway for the skin on the 9th. Did we not have the destroyers? Is that also not here? Yeah, no, they're not here. Okay. All right, never mind. We're not going to test out the destroyers. Fine. Instead, we're going to do... Combat battle cruisers. The Signal? Should we do this one? What is the Brutix battle cruiser bonus? So extra damage and extra tracking speed versus the Myrmidon, which would be extra drone damage and extra rep amount. Okay. So this will give me extra drone hit points, tracking and damage, web of fire drones, velocity decrease in HP, hybrid turret damage, and rep amount. I like this one better. Let's go with this one. There wouldn't be for long if SBs would destroy them. Wait. You always see a bunch of shuttle wrecks in the Amazon gate. No wreck shouldn't be affected by smart bombs. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. This fit looks at least better. We'll see how well it works when we get out there. Drone bays. I do have webs and Praetors and infiltrators, so definitely some stuff to test out. I need to put in rigs. I don't have probes, though. I guess I don't technically need probes. It doesn't matter. Let's just go. If we go into opportunities, we can do... It's a... What is it called? A moderate site now? I don't think it does much damage to Rex, but it may still damage them enough to be able to flag it. I'm just saying. Is it moderate? Yeah, moderate. Okay, there's one in Amamake. Sure that won't go poorly. I hear that Amamake is usually a quiet system. That was a joke for those of you who didn't catch that, just so you know. Oh, I didn't bring any bursters, even though I brought a burster module. So let's go ahead and make sure to at least grab that. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot quieter on Sissy. That's true. Let's go with rapid repair. And then, let's see, is there any other drones that we can just throw in there that we might want? Vespa's not really that great. All right, let's just go. So it's going to be a 30-person complex which spawns exclusively in Frontlines. And it gives a very large amount, or gives a very large amount of victory points, but has a slower respawn time. It allows Navy battlecruisers and below. It contains an effect inside the capture point, which improves the skill level bonus per level of all battlecruiser hulls. So if you have battlecruiser 4, it functionally gives the equivalent of battlecruiser 6. But so that means that you can go in with something other than a battlecruiser, but you just don't get any of that bonus. What we did earlier was the time-limited hacking site. New hacking site will start appearing in bulwark systems belonging to the enemy faction based on the data sites from the Shadow War campaign, which is the one that we tried out earlier. It can be in a non-battlecruiser, but battlecruisers will be 20% better. Yeah. That's kind of nice. I do really love that idea. Especially since the idea that there, you know, this one goes up to 11 aspect to it all, you know? The fact that there is a way to get Battlecruiser 6 or like a skill to 6 is a pretty fun, spicy addition to the whole thing. I just realized this is not the correct way to show off this. Hold on, let me pull up Peld and switch to this version. Now we can see more. Oh, this is going to be even funnier. I assume there's no fleet now. No. Good. So right now, my reps are 147 hit points per second maximum while repping without bursts. With bursts, it's 173. And we can also look at the Berserker's web strength, too, because that should change as well, right? Yes. So just to look here, we have maximum velocity 3600, and its web strength is 30%. Moderate. So we have a 30% and 170 with bursts. 170 with bursts, 147 without bursts. You heard of 10 Algos boxing into Plex. Now get ready for 10 Myrmidons boxing into Plex. I mean, I kind of wish that, like, that would be better. Marquis got ganked by 54 Catalysts at one time. There's a huge armor low slot item that decreases cap need by 15%. For what? What? Okay. I'm still at 147. No special ability yet. I'm landing in the site. Still no boost yet. Oh, there it is. I just got it. And it's now 157. So, yep, my reps went from 147 to 157. And my Berserkers went from 30... It's still 30%. For velocity decrease in hit points. I don't know. I guess that didn't work. Maybe I need to pull one of these in and I'll throw out the Berserker and see whether or not that helps. Oh, nope, not that. I do have a... Oh. Yes. So now I'm going to start attacking that guy. But my Berserker... Show info. 32%! There it is! Yep, there it is. And my reps are 157, which then if I put up my burst, raise it to 184 hit points per second. So yep, I'm getting the benefits of as if I had Gallente Battlecruiser 6. Which also means that my damage is also increased. But I didn't really look at those numbers. That's very funny. And my drone damage should be increased too. And then this one, once I kill all these rats, We'll see that this site takes 15 minutes. So normal. So this is pretty normal with the rest of the plexes. The only difference is that it has that weird battlecruiser bonus, but otherwise it's mechanically slots in just perfectly between medium and large. So that's that. Prophecy resists. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good opportunities for this. Yeah, at least this one's 15 minutes. It's true. And they said that this one is a very large amount of victory points, but slower respawn time. Well, I'm going to wait till figure out those kinds of numbers later. We're probably not going to sit here and run this entire site because that would be an extra 15 minutes. And we've already been going for 3.5 hours. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Is there anything else that we really want to jump into and check out? There's the Tech 1 Frigate one, which is a shorter time. There's the Interceptor one, which is only in command operations. Every time I hear victory points, Catan. Victory points is the mechanic of faction warfare that nobody cares about or pays attention to. Okay. Can I do the Epic Arc? No, right? No? Okay. The syndication one's going to be really weird after this. Wonder what they're going to do with that. All right. Well, so there is a lot of really interesting stuff about the Epic Arc, but I mean, I would just have to show you stuff about it real quick, I suppose. We go here, we can see... Why didn't my browser show up? Hold on. So if we look at HoboLeaks, we can see there is... we can see what the Epic Arc is going to entail, which is the fights that they entailed, or, you know, whatever. We see... here we go. Nope, those are the Chaos Dungeon effects. Faction warfare stuff, all faction warfare stuff. The skins, the new faction stuff. Here we go. Holo Dungeon Planet Caldari Prime, Holo Dungeon Planet Intaki, Holo Dungeon Planet Matar, and Norus Revelation, who's in fight with the Jovians, Rebellion Tempest from the Mimitar Rebellion, Typhoon from the Rebellion, the Erebus from On a Mission to Give the Intaki their planet back. The Naglfar, with it they plan on spreading their heresy across the Empire. Okay. Here we go. Air Epic Arc Proximity Effect, Caldari Ally Civilian Spawner, Enemy Hauler, no. Megacorp Transport. So, okay, so yeah, so for the Caldari one, you're trying to help save, you know, this is very much basically what I predicted, right? Because this is like, so the battle for Caldari Prime, the original one where Tobo is trying to just like cause enough distraction to allow the Caldari people to save themselves. I think the information is better in the strings. So let's go ahead and look at the strings really quick. I have to find it. Let's go with what is it? Matar, I guess. We could look for Matar. No, because that's going to get everybody Mimitar too. Intaki? Here we go. Here we go. Do not lose hope. I have a plan. I'm going to teach these Galente what it feels like when your home is attacked. As all seem lost, Admiral Yakia Tovil Toba prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for all Caldari. So yes, the Air Career Epic Arc for the Caldari is the sacrifice. Is you know, the carrier sacrifice. The Mimitar one. Captain, confirming your arrival at Caldari Prime Orbital Point Gamma, pinging dispatch. This is receiving your transmission. Admiral transport has suffered warp malfunction. I guess you are? You're playing as Tovil, maybe? Alright, here we go. You have seen now the cost of freedom and the struggles necessary to maintain it. Join the fight against the Amar and continue in the spirit of rebellion. Let's see. Minmatar dialogue complete. Bronze. Let's see. Board a Mimitar Tech 1 destroyer, frigate, or corvette. You'll need to fit both a target painter and data analyzer. Captain, do you copy fleet's position hidden in the shadow of Pator 9? Hack those turrets, you won't, and we will be able to warp in. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so you can come back to the simulation partway through it. So there's extra information for that. So here we can see. So you've returned, so be it. The Caldari have invited you to experience their proudest and darkest day. Make your way to the simulation site and follow the instructions. So for the Caldari breakout, for the Mimitar, it was, we invite you to witness our greatest day, the day on which we took our planet back, pass into the simulation, feel the pride of the Mitari, and you would not be foolish to embrace our republic. The Galente have invited you to join them in a simulation of the liberation of Intaki. Travel to the simulation site and follow the instructions. So the liberation of Intaki, which I guess would be the more recent one, right? If the tribes won you over that you're ready to stop here, I suggest continuing to see the Amar lies firsthand. Only then will you appreciate why they must be stopped. The next simulation in the series is the lies and propaganda of the Amar Empire. Travel to their imperial mouthpiece. You'll see what they have to say for themselves. I suggest that you study it carefully to better understand the enemy. Are you prepared now to stare into the ugliness of your of false faith? The next simulation in the series of lies and propaganda of the Amar Empire. That would be the military campaigns. Our hollow prayers won't silence the calls of our ancestors. Take that supercarrier's fighters so our battleships can finish it off. Aeon-class supercarrier under the command of Imperial Lord Governor Giuliano Corvinos. In his tenure overseeing the occupation of Matar, his villainous figure has administered countless horrors for the native people. Those Mimitar Rebellion stuff. What about Galente? Capsulers is Vice Admiral Fiona Ravelli. We got word that you're on your way to Galente space. I'll put some Quaif on ice for you. See you soon. Welcome to the Federation Free Zone, our little oasis of democracy. Now you know just how hard we fight, and this fight is worth winning. Come join the Federation and see justice done right. You did well. Take care to take those skills into real world and fight that matters. Come join the Federation. No, all is lost. What will I tell my corporate overseer? That's if the Galente haulers get destroyed? We may have lost this day, but with this Intaki wealth, our investment is paid off. Interesting. Oh, so if they've gotten none of them, then you lose. If you get some of them, unacceptable, barely a pittance, the CEOs are not going to be happy. If you get them all, you tell them the Federation says to stay away from our freedom. You tell them Federation says... So there's different tiers of success in the Epic Arc. Once loaded full of valuable Intaki artifacts, this Badger class hauler plans to steal them for their Megacorp masters. Oh, yeah. So this is all about how the Caldari were looting and pillaging the Caldari, or Intaki Prime. A ship carrying Caldari civilians and the assets of Caldari megacorporations as they attempt to escape the attacks on their home planet. Wait. Yeah, I think. Maybe. Liberation Phase 2 is about to begin. So you have to newt the flagship, and there's different tiers of that. Hack defenses. Matar in the system of Pator. For centuries, these Amar guns have been pointed at our population below. In the arrogance, they never expected that we break our own chains and build our own fleet. All right. I think that might be it for now. We will have to look at those Epic Arc stuff more when we get there. Pulling old play out of the banned Modern Warfare opening mission campaigns? Maybe. The supplies have the battle names? Hold on. You're right. Imperial War Reserve supply package. No, those are different. Those aren't useful. Manufactured by the Imperial War Reserve. Nope, those are for the frontline stuff. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I'm very excited about this new Epic Arc and its possibilities for showing off historical points in the in history, but they were promised a tax cut 3,000 years ago. That's fair. All right, I think this is going to be it for now. There's definitely more stuff to check out. I recommend you get on Singularity and check it out yourself. We'll be poking at it for the rest of the weekend. If there's something specific that's worth going live about, I do reserve the right to go live between, at some point. But I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure. We're just going to have to play the next couple of days by ear. I will remind everybody that search for supplies, not supply. Golgothan Field, Caldari Prime Breakout, Intaki Liberation, and the Battle of Pator. Golgothan Fields, that is a thing that I can't remember the truth behind it. Golgothan Fields. The Mimitar Rebellion saw mental battles, both on the ground and in space. The largest space battle took place in the Inur system. Oh, Inur. We know that system. A few weeks before the start of the rebellion, the main Amar battle fleet had returned to Jove space and intended to break the power of the rebels once and for all. By sweeping through their core systems, the Mimitar met the Amar with everything they had in a fierce battle that lasted for hours. In the end, the Mimitar withdrew and the Amar claimed victory, but the Mimitar had succeeded in disabling or destroying the best capital ships in the Amar fleet, thus reducing their offensive strength dramatically. Today, the old battlefield, commonly known as Golgothan Fields, is littered with old shipwrecks and infested with pirates that have taken refuge in the giant hulks. They fiercely defend their base, but daring scavengers can still sneak in and rummage around. Very cool. And then we know the other ones pretty clearly. So that would have been, so the Pro Amar one is Golgothan Fields, because they win the fight. The Battle of Pator would be the Mimitar one. The Intaki Liberation will be the Galente one. And the Caldari Prime Breakout will be the Caldari one. Right? Probably. Well, we'll see. Either way, this has been our little walk through Singularity and what's going on right now. I do recommend you get on, check things out, put in bug reports or feedback on the forums if you if you find anything. Yeah, it's a point of interest site that spawns a bunch of like higher end angel rats. That's true. All right, but that isn't what this is. This is like that virtual reality thing, which we saw some of the effects of that we looked at last time. But all that said, it's the art panel. The art panel at the very end of the art panel. So if you go way back, or if you go back to the videos about FanFest and you go to towards the end of that, when we look at the art panel, at the very, very end of the art panel, they show in the stream, they show a couple of things that show the visuals of the new Epic arc and like the digitalized virtual reality construct kind of thing to it. That looks cool, but we will be checking that out as soon as we can. But this is a pretty decent preview of everything, of what we know is coming on the 9th. Although, like I said, we don't have the destroyers, but we were able to check out some of the sites, some of the stuff with bulwarks, etc., etc. I'm very excited. I want to know what you guys are excited about. What are you most excited about for Cradle of War, the expansion that comes out on the 9th? Next Tuesday, so a week from today, if you're watching this live, will be the start. No, sorry. Today's Thursday. Next Tuesday will be the beginning of the last week of the event. So we should see a track extension, and we will likely see new gifts or new rewards as part of that, including possibly the new the gold token, which we still haven't seen. So make sure you can make your progress right now in the track, but be back next week for that extended track benefit. And then we will be back, if not sooner, we will be back then to look at all of that details and everything else as we lead up to the expansion. So thank you very much. There's been lots of streaming in the last couple of days or weeks. We've been talking about a lot of lore. We've been talking a lot about tinfoil. We've been talking a lot about, I did 10 hours of FanFest coverage. Sylphian Diabel is currently MIA, and yet it seems like the Caldari are even more dedicated than ever to taking down the Syndicate. So we're just going to have to keep track of all of this, watch those videos to keep caught up, like the channel, subscribe so that way you never miss a thing. Head into the Discord so you can join our conversation, and if you can, use the buddy code down below or in chat in order to get your 1,000,000 free skill points for your characters. You can do that on all of your different accounts. Make extra accounts to do that in order to get blank clones, etc., etc. Thank you for everybody that considers supporting the channel by becoming a member or a patron or buying some merch or whatever. I really, really appreciate all of that, but I also appreciate every single one of you that just comes and hangs out and participates in the stream, chats, likes it, shares it with a friend, because that is how we get people to know about this channel, this show. I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans, and other people only know about it because you let them know about it. Thank you so much to everybody, and I will finish by saying I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much, especially my top-tier supporters, 745 MPSI, Arydanika the Queen, Bad Boy Smooth, Evo Elite, Erladis, Elange, Flash Gordon, Grims, May, Malak Starfire, Malin, Mercuton, Mayak, Morkar, Michael, Neelem, LM1, Sheesh, Susuro, Threns, and Rid. Thank you all so much. Like I said, get in on the Discord just in case I go live between now and Tuesday, because we might do a giveaway thanks to Morkar. Who knows? You won't know unless you hang out and find out. Convocation of Empyreans is recruiting. Please use the buddy code if you haven't already. Yada, yada, yada. I have been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Until next time, I'll see you in space. I need to go take my dog out.
Bring on the wrecking machine. city